What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. It's Friday. It's Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta. I'm here with my boy Mike. What's up, Mike?
What up? What up? Friday.
It's
Excited.
here. Week 6 is upon us. And probably one of the favorite shows. Starts it episode here, Friday night show. And we're gonna get into the games, get into the chat. I'm sure it's popping week 6. There's movement in everyone's leagues. I'm sure trades are happening. It's been a crazy
Everywhere.
week of football, fantasy football, that is. Um, so yeah, man. So again, we're here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We also do a Sunday morning active inactive show. We're going over last minute injuries, last minute start sit questions to get your lineups right for week 6. Um, so without any further ado, man, let's get into it.
Nice.
As we know, we start the show off usually with Magoat's interesting fact of the day. Today, shout out to Magoats. The interesting fact is the person with the most passing touchdowns without an interception for an entire career, LaDainian Tomlinson.
That's
LT.
hilarious.
LT is the only person, not quarterback, but person with the most passing touchdowns without an interception for a full career. So shout out to LT getting it down. Shout out to my goats, man, bringing us with
This
these
is
hot facts every day, man.
this is the real LT. Let's remember that. Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor, man. What's up, Wilson? What up? What
Wilson, I
up?
gotta say, I gotta give a shout out to Wilson today. Thank you so much for your help. I had a nice day out with the girl, and we were cruising around Long Island today, and my prowler, or well, not mine, but my stepdad's prowler. So we had a great time, and I appreciate Wilson taking over the reporting duties while I was out. So thanks so much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Shout out to all the
What up,
ambassadors out here for
Neanderthal?
Get Right. What's up, Jerry? What up? What up, man? Welcome back, Friday night. Thanks for spending your Friday with us, man. So shameless plug time. We'll get this out of the
Sure.
way.
Yeah,
Underdog
let's get it out.
Fantasy, underdogfantasy.com. Um, promo code Get Right. Go there, underdogfantasy.com. Sign up for your account. Make your first deposit. Get an extra $10. Deposit it into your account when you do that. Help support the channel. Go in there. A lot of fun stuff you can do. Best ball drafts, daily fantasy, pick'ems, rivalry picks, over-unders. It's all on there. A lot of fun. Um, if you want to get anything with us, every week we're doing something. Um, just let us know. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code Get Right.
Nice.
Thursday night recap, man.
Yes,
We're breezing through this thing, man. We're getting there. We're getting there.
sir.
Um, so quickly here, shout out to Evan. I see you in here. What's up, Evan? What up? Got a quick question, early question. He traded Daryl Hinder, Daryl
No,
Williams,
Williams. Yeah.
and Tony,
Mm-hmm.
Tony, Tooney, Tony,
Tooney. Yeah.
Tooney for David Montgomery. I have Adams, Chase, Moore, Brandon Cooks, Renfro, Eckler, Jacobs, Moss, and Mitchell. Great trade. I love that trade.
Okay.
You're basically
Yeah, I'm not
using a
against
waiver
that.
wire guy, for a backup, for the next 3 or 4 weeks. You have the depth. As long as you make it into the playoffs, those are the kind of trades you want to do.
Yeah, I like that.
Absolutely. Well done. Um, shout out to Kyle Ellis.
Hey,
What's up?
Kyle.
Uh,
Welcome.
welcome. For those of you who are watching, if you haven't already, make sure you go into that description, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It helps us out. We're growing the channel, just over 220 subscribers. Help us grow, man. So Kyle here says 8-man PPR. We start 3 wide receivers and 3 running backs. Interesting little setup there. Trade Hollywood and Emmanuel Sanders for Lamb and PPR. My other wide receivers are Chase, Woods, AB, Waddle, and Corey Davis. Um,
Um,
I would say no, man.
yeah, me
Personally, on
neither.
my side, Hollywood Brown is balling out. Obviously, we have the return or the debut, I should say, of Mr. One Rashad Bateman, the anticipated
Yep.
debut, as I should say.
Yeah, your
Um,
anticipated
a,
debut.
a get right favorite here, at least a Rasta favorite. Definitely, want to see what that offense looks like when you insert him in there. Um, Sanders is balling out as well. Dallas is, kind of going more run heavy right now. You know, I would keep Hollywood and Sanders right now until I see otherwise. So personally, I'd
Yeah.
hold there. Chase
Yeah,
is a
likewise. I
stud.
mean, you
Woods is fine. AB is
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, honestly, you have Marquise Brown, who's wide receiver 6, and Emmanuel Sanders, who's the wide receiver 17, and you're trading both of them for the wide receiver 22. I just don't see it. Just keep it as is. You're doing fine.
doing good. Neanderthal ball. Lenny looking awesome. He is. I seen in a PPR he put up like 30 points this week. In
Oh,
non
yeah.
PPR, I think he put up 19, 20. Um, it's huge. What up, Dustin? If you can get
What
on,
up,
man, if you can
Dustin?
pop on, we'll be on here probably all night. If you can
Yeah.
pop on at any point for any given amount of time, come on in with it. He's saying he'd trade it. For those of you guys who don't know, Dustin is part of the Get Right crew. Not all of us can get on every night, but whenever we can, of course, he'll hold it down in the chat. Um, he's saying because of those Hollywood hands, maybe you got some stickum on there or something. Lately he's been looking pretty good. Hot Hands Heenan. He's gonna get a new name instead of Hollywood. I'm calling him Hot Hands. Uh, all right, so while we're kind of on that, like he said, Lenny's looking awesome. Perfect little segue into the Thursday night recap. I'll kind of turn it over to you. I'm sure they're tired of hearing me talk already. So
No,
I'll
it's
turn it
all
over
good,
to
man.
you. Turn it over to you here, Mike. Tell me what you thought about this Thursday game. Um, Pretty good game. It looked like it was going to be interesting in the beginning, and then it kind of just
Yeah.
lost its luster, so to speak. They had Tampa Bay favored by 7 with a 52.5 point over under. Didn't quite get there, 28-22. What'd you think?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Tom Brady is, as we know, good at football. He just keeps, doing well every week. We all finally see a big transition in Tampa Bay where Fournette is, now a thing, compared to a, running back by committee. It just looks like they're going after it. He's the one that's getting the ball every time, and Brady trusts him to get it. So they've been dumping it to him. They've been running it with him through the tackles, and he looks good. He looks pretty solid going, making those runs. So Jalen Hurts is probably the worst QB in the league, but is one of the best fantasy, QBs ever. It's incredibly crazy how bad he is, but yet how good he is for fantasy. And he already has, I think in my league, it's 4 point passing touchdown, and he had 25 points on the day, and he had one of the worst stat lines I've ever seen. So it's a thing, and
Rushing
the other thing
upside.
that oh well, of course, it's always the rushing upside. He had the 2 rushing touchdowns, which he's been almost averaging a touchdown and a half a game rushing. So, I mean, the biggest thing that I've noticed, and the one thing that I'll ask this question is Miles Sanders at this point droppable? What do you
N-
think?
no, only because running backs are just so hard to come by at this point. I mean, if we're seeing guys like, uh, Herbert and you know all these backups and handcuffs coming off the wire, I think he's a hold. I definitely would consider starting some of these other running backs and guys you're picking up off the wire over him at this point. Um, that big backfield with that type of quarterback, kind of what turns me off, to the, Edmonds and Connors and, originally J.K. Dobbins and those type of folks, because when your, quarterback is the number one rushing option on the team, when you get down in that red zone, it's tough to get those, touchdown upsides. So yeah,
Fair.
so I don't think he's droppable just because he's a running back, and due to positional scarcity. But he's definitely somebody you could look to sit, in the future if you do have better options that you could pick up or possibly trade for. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, that's that.
And then the
Um,
bigger news, as we all saw this afternoon, we saw Zach Ertz getting traded from Philly to Arizona. So now he's out there with Kyler Murray, which is huge. And now it finally clears up that backfield or the tight end room out in Philly. You don't have to worry about Goddard or Ertz. You know that it's one or the other. So
so
that's a good
nice.
thing. Now,
As a
do you think?
Goddard owner, I love that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. My brother's been waiting for that for the last year, and my biggest question is do both of their value go? Does that help both of their value to you, or do you think that it kind of? I know that it does because either way now they're their own, and he's going to be the only guy when it comes to Arizona. But who do you think gets the bigger jump here?
Well, right. I'd say it's Goddard right now because he has the connection with, Hurts right now.
Mm,
But
does he?
there's a lot of mouths to kind of feed. Um, just in that offense, the Eagles' offense is built to throwing to the tight end. I think the only
Mm.
reason why Ertz was even used like he was is because they were showcasing him to, be able to trade him. Now that he's done, I think it's going to be, Ertz or Goddard potential, top 6, top 5 guy. Um, potential rest of the season. So that's the ceiling. You
Well,
know,
uh, as much
I,
as I think that they were trying to show him off, I don't know if it was so much showing off compared to the need. I mean, Arizona had that need to fill. I mean, they had nobody.
yeah.
They just
Well, I think
lost
Goddard
Max
becomes
Williams.
Hawkinson now, basically, right?
Not for that offense, because I mean they still can run through Jalen Rager and Devontae Smith, and they still have Gainwell. All I'm saying is they
I
they
mean,
have those
granted, they have
guys.
Devontae Smith. Rager's nothing. Rager's
Well,
Quintus
Rager's
Cephas. I mean,
yeah,
come
but
on.
Rager's better than the normal number two that you can find in most teams. Honestly, he's better than Cephas. You
Well,
can't
yeah.
say that he's not.
I'm
I don't
just
know,
saying that offense is
but
built
my
to throw to the tight end. Um, I'm just saying, not a lot of offenses
okay.
target that position. You can see the targets between Ertz and Goddard. It He just throws to the tight end. So to me, I'd rather start him than 15 other tight ends just because of the type of offense
No,
he's
of
in.
course. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
let's
Yeah,
see
but
here.
that other than that, there wasn't really much about that game that really, sparked my interest. It was, that it was a 7-point favorite being away, the away team being the 7-point favorite. It's just, it is what it is. So,
Yeah. On
I
the
think
other side,
Wilson
though,
had a
just
question
quickly.
for us.
Yeah, I was just gonna say quickly though.
Oh,
Where
sure.
does we were talking about the Goddard side. Where does Ertz land now? Do you feel he's top 10 on that side, or how long do you think it takes
Yeah.
before he and
Oh,
Kyler go?
yeah.
Because now that's another mouth to feed in Arizona. So what does that do to Hopkins, to Rondell Moore, Christian Kirk? We've seen the targets that are completely dispersed evenly. Is this another mouth that's going to have to be fed here in Arizona
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly,
and Edmonds?
I think it hurts and helps at the same time. I mean, so I guess it kind of keeps everybody kind of even. Ertz kind of just makes it where it takes a little bit off of the wide receivers over there to get a little coverage drawn to him because now that the tight end is somewhat viable.
Well, I
Oh,
mean, we were
excuse me.
starting to, Max Williams was on our radar before he had
Yeah,
that injury.
exactly.
He was being
So
started that week that he got hurt.
top
So I
10, I
think
can see.
now, yeah, so now he has that potential. I think we both agree Ertz is better than Max Williams. I would
Yes,
think maybe,
for
right?
sure.
So yeah. So that'll be interesting. Definitely looking forward to seeing. Obviously, he's not playing this Sunday. Yeah, he'll be here next Sunday
Yeah,
because we already
yeah, he
played
has
on
to wait.
Thursday. So
Yep.
so that's that. All right. So quickly here, and we'll try to answer these quick. We'll go into more detail when we actually get into the games as to why we're starting and sitting these people. Um, but start 2.5 PPR, Connor, Chenault, or Shepard.
Oof. I'm gonna go Connor and Shepard.
If you need upside, I would go Chenault and Shepard. Actually, now I'm going Connor and Shepard as well.
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah.
Um,
It's hard to trust that wide receiving core.
yeah, I got to see, even Marvin Jones right now, he's almost
Yeah,
legit. We'll get into that here too. So, should I drop Miko Hardman? Not right
no.
now, especially with Tyreek Hill hurt. If he does sit for a week, there should be good
Eh.
targets there available
No, he's
for
gonna
him.
play. He was limited. He's good.
Yeah, but he is
Yeah,
there.
no, it's a good backup. It's definitely worth the ad.
Again, if you can pick up a running back or something, then by all means. But for the most part, I would hold him. Wilson says no, he has some value there, and Dustin saying he had to drop Shepard may regret it. I was waiting all week, man, for them to rule out Saquon. We all saw his ankle. I don't know why they didn't rule him out immediately. In
Eh,
Yahoo, I couldn't put him in my IR spot until today. I missed out on
I
being able
hate
to
when
grab
they do that.
Ertz. Because of that, I was going to start him. He ends up getting a touchdown, of course, and now gets traded to Arizona. So that pretty much screwed me big time.
Yeah,
Uh,
the people that picked him up for Thursday night, when we heard about Dallas Goedert being out, I mean that's what led to everybody picking him up. So
right,
those people ended up lucking out. We had a guy in our league he's number one right now, and he ends up having he had Gronk on his team, and he needed to find a replacement, and he went right to Ertz, and now he's got someone till Gronk comes back. So that's
right.
tough.
And I say that also because I could have dropped Shepard, but I decided not to.
Yeah,
And
I wouldn't.
I didn't want to drop Shepard. I wanted to just put, you know, Saquon on my IR and be able to pick up Ertz, but I couldn't do that. And to me, he wasn't worth dropping. So I uh I didn't want to have to regret it. So George is saying Marvin Jones, Jacoby Myers, D Book, or Hardman at the flex this week. So who do you like out of these guys? Jones, Myers, Book,
Ugh.
or Hardman? Tell me in PPR and in non PPR.
Non PPR, you have to stick with Booker. With PPR, I'd probably go Hardman. And I have Marvin Jones and Jacoby Myers on my teams. And I'm having a hard time playing them. The same effect that Wilson's kind of discussing down below with Jalen Ramsey over Shepard. It's the same concept with Jacoby Myers, who's going to be going against Trayvon Diggs, who has been shutting everybody down recently, and he is hurt. But Jerry Jones has been saying that he's going to play. So as of right now, I rather take what I know compared to what I don't know. And right now, I like Booker and Hardman as two options.
Yep.
So
Um, that is a tough choice. I probably would go Booker both ways at this point, just because we don't know what we're going to get out of Hardman. Um, I think this is more of a get right game for Kelsey and Hill. I think we see a lot of them this week, and I don't know. I'm just not feeling Jones or Myers, like you said, because of that Diggs at the moment. So, well
yeah,
said. Do we think Jalen Ramsey will be covering Shepard to potentially shut him down?
no, I think they might put him on Tooney more than or Tony, whatever his name is, compared to Shepard. I think Shepard. They're going to move him around a lot, and Jalen Ramsey's been playing more of like a nickel type inside corner compared to the outside. They just lost, I think, Damon Williams, or not Damon Williams. I I know his last name is Williams. He's one of their better corners on the outside, so I think they might have to stick him to the outside. And knowing how the Giants normally go, they'll probably put Slayton or, well, if Slayton plays because he's currently questionable, but they'll probably put Slayton or Colin Johnson on the outside. They'll probably put him on him. Shepard's too slick on the inside. I don't see them doing it, so I don't see him being shut down by him. I think he's going to be a reliable target, and Evan Ingram. So those are
There
who
it
you're
is.
going to want. Yeah.
There it is. Um, Dustin says he wants Jacoby to score, but not against Diggs.
Yeah.
Kyle here saying, would you trade Emmanuel Sanders for Brandon Cooks in PPR?
No.
I wouldn't.
I would not get rid of Sanders.
I like the quarterback a lot better. I like that offense a lot better.
Yeah.
We've seen, what Cooks can produce, but we've also seen, what his floor could be as well.
Yeah.
I don't want any piece of that.
Yeah. Me neither.
George is saying yes, though.
Yeah. I just wouldn't because it's just not worth it. Sanders is on fire right now. You don't play with, you don't mess around with fire. Leave it.
Yeah. I'm the same way, which is why I don't want to start him over Booker. But yeah.
Oh, Dustin. You just have to laugh. You just have to laugh. That's all I can do right now.
Well done. I would hate to know that much about the Giants. I agree. I agree.
Hey man, I know a lot about the NFC East. That it's the one thing that I have to think about all day long. So
That's hilarious. All right, man. Well, we're caught up in the chats here. Let's start to break down some of these games. 20 minutes in, not doing too bad here. So let's get in the first one, man. We got Miami Dolphins at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is our London game, going to be 9:30 Eastern, 6:30
yeah.
Pacific. We have an over/under here of 47. We have the Dolphins favored by 3. Tell me, who are we starting? Who are we sitting here in this game? Are there any injuries we should know about to break it down for me, Mike. Break it down.
Yeah. So it looks like Tua's going to be playing. So he will be there this week, which is great to hear. This kind of puts a boost to anybody that's on the field in general. And I feel weird saying that because I've been so low on Tua forever. But it does put it helps all the receivers. It helps, even Gaskins a little bit. But Devontae Parker for Miami is also going to be out for this particular game. He did make the trip, but they declared him out today. So he will not be playing today. Or sorry, he won't be playing Sunday. I mean, on the Jackson side, honestly, there weren't many injuries that needed to really be talked about. So honestly, there wasn't much on that side of the ball.
Mhm.
You're playing Robinson. You're playing. You almost have to play Marvin Jones or Chenault. I mean, right now, if I remember correctly, Byron Jones is out, or one of the no Xavier Howard.
Xavier
Sorry,
Howard
Xavier
is out.
Howard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's out for this game. So I'm okay with the wide receivers. They can't cover both. So I'm okay with playing Jones or playing Chenault in this particular game if you have no other, better options in this. I think the biggest question is can we trust the production from last week to spill into a matchup against Jacksonville this week for Myles Gaskin? So what do you think? Do you think you can trust him this week?
It's $1 million question, man. The
Yeah,
answer to
it
that is
is.
no, you can't trust him based on, recent data. But
Well,
again, we've seen what his
I
floor and what his
have to
ceiling
trust him.
could be. A lot of us are in that position.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna back up a little bit in regards to the receivers. I don't
sure.
think in regards to the Jacksonville side, I don't think these guys are potentially startable here. If you don't need to, where you drafted them, Chenault and Jones, you may have better options there. Um, again,
Nope, not for me.
just based on how a standard
Yeah,
redraft would be. Obviously, there's a ton of different leagues out there. But like you said, you don't have to worry about Howard. Plus, even with them, they didn't really have too good of a game last week. They were a
no.
little banged up, so that Miami defense isn't what we kind of thought it was heading into this. So I kind of agree with you there on those. But for the most part, on Gaskins, you kind of got to start him if you have no other options with all the other running back issues there are. But like you said, do you start Gaskins or do you start one of these waiver wire guys? Devontae Booker or um, you know, uh, it's going to be Herbert now. Actually, with the news that
Yeah,
Damian
Khalil
Williams
Hoover.
is out.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a sec. But yeah, I mean that's my biggest question. Like, do you start him over, Khalil Herbert? Do you start him over Darrell Williams or Damian Harris or Chuba Hubbard. Like, any of those names, would you start those players over Gaskin?
If Mixon is in there, I'm going to start Mixon's over Gaskins.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
yeah.
I would start Darrell Williams over Gaskins this
Okay.
week. I would start Gaskins over Harris this week just because I'm
Okay.
not liking what I'm seeing. He had that fumble last week as well.
And the
Um,
ribs.
yeah, plus his ribs issue. And I still don't like necessarily what I see out of Hubbard, so I'd probably take my chances with Gaskins over Hubbard. As you
Okay.
know, I got Hubbard and traded him off immediately. I
Yeah.
wasn't feeling him at all, so
I don't blame you.
I would still start Gaskins over Hubbard.
Yeah, I mean, I feel comfortable starting Gaskins a little more than I did like last week. Even though last week, the reason why people didn't want to do it was because they were facing one of the worst defense, or one of the best defenses against the running back. But it was only because they haven't faced, good running backs, or in general that no one has been running on them. So, right now the Jags are 28th against the run. I'm fine with playing Gaskin and seeing what he can do. So I'm okay. The only one I wouldn't play him over is Mixon. Herbert might be the only other one because I know he'll be the only guy that will get all the touches there, and we won't have to worry. But he's the only other guy that I'd be a little bit more willing. The other guys, I'd probably play him over
So
at this point. So
you like Harris and Hubbard and Booker over Gaskins?
no. I like Gaskin over them. Like, I'd
Oh,
rather
okay.
have
Oh,
Gaskin
I see
over
what you're saying.
Harris. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
yeah, I think the only two
Uh,
that I can is Herbert and Mixon.
definitely. Wilson saying they should play Chenault in his main slot position, but he lines up on the outside now that Chark is hurt, and that's
Yeah.
part of the problem. So he's not as comfortable there, and that could be it.
Yeah, for sure. I they moved him out of his role, bless you, because of the whole thing going on,
Whew.
with Chark out, and they could use him as that Joker back, and they just or that Joker running back, and they never do.
Scat
And it's
back.
yeah, I'm gonna call it a scat back, but I'm surprised they don't do it more often.
Yep. We have Neanderthal here saying, should I have faith in Danny Dimes next week to start him in 2 leagues, or should I switch it up to Heineke in one of them? He's the best available.
Derek.
Dad at Derek or Carr, or Derek Carr or
No, I think
Heineke
he's saying
versus Green Bay.
Danny at. I think
Oh,
he's
Danny,
saying
yeah, Danny Dimes at
against Carolina.
Carolina or Heineke at Green Bay.
Heineke.
I don't know, man. I haven't broke down next week yet, Jerry.
Yeah, we
You're
haven't
gonna
gone in.
you
Yeah,
getting ahead of the process here. All of our researchers for this week, you're taking it to the next level. Looking at next week already, but I love it, man. Um, I don't know. We definitely got to see how Danny Dimes does this week with his weapons that are available to him. I think that's
yeah.
going to be a huge thing. At least we have this week to kind of see, and then we'll get back to this next week and give you a better idea there. Wilson saying, do we start Gesicki at Jacksonville or Hunter Henry at Dallas this week? Which one do you like?
Ooh.
I say Gesicki. Which one do you like?
Yeah, quick answer. I'd probably go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Gesicki too.
There it is.
Yeah.
Jerry's saying he's weeks ahead. I love it, my man. I love it.
Yeah, being proactive. That's the way you need to think.
Absolutely.
Smart way to think.
Absolutely. Gotta plan that out ahead. So we'll get into the next game here. Keep the questions coming, guys. If there's anything you want to talk about, let us know. We'll definitely get into it. Otherwise, we'll continue breaking down the games here. Feel free to ask questions about certain guys, here in this area, and we could break down if you want it more. So, next game we have is Green Bay at Chicago Bears. Packers versus Bears rivalry. We have the Packers favored by only 6 with a 44-point over-under. They're expecting a close game in this one. I don't believe they have any Khalil Mack, though. So I'm wondering why this is so interesting. So break it down to us, Mike. Tell us about this Packers-Bears matchup.
So, as you just said, I mean, that's probably the reason why this is a little bit more interesting is their defense has been lackluster. It's not the Bears defense we, used to love to watch. it looks like I'm looking at my injury report real quick that okay, so they have him questionable. They have actually Mac is questionable, so it looks like he might give it a go. They have right now they have Allen Robinson, who is currently questionable to play, but he did not practice throughout the week. He was only limited on Friday. It's a better sign than normal. You're starting Rodgers, you're starting Devontae Adams, you're starting Aaron Jones. I'm not comfortable with starting Justin Fields just yet. Daryl Mooney is probably a good option if you're going to because we don't know how right now Allen Robinson is going to play, and if anything, he'll get the Jair treatment. So we definitely want to stay away from that. So I'm liking Daryl Mooney for that particular side of the ball. As we all heard on Thursday, Damian Williams is now on the COVID-19 reserve list. It doesn't look like he'll be there in time for the game. He'll be there next week. So it looks like Khalil Herbert is the next man up. And as we talked about before, he might be a guy that you're picking up over guys like Gaskin. But are you starting him somewhat? Like I'm using Mixon a lot and Gaskin a lot because those always tend to be question marks for me. But are you starting him over a guy like Latavius Murray or even a guy like that's hurt like Dalvin Cook?
Dalvin Cook's not hurt. He's good to go.
Well,
You
he's
fire
he's
him up.
coming. Well, I'm just
He's scoring 20 points for you if he's playing.
okay.
I'm definitely starting Herbert over Murray. I like what
Okay.
I saw. They're giving him 18 touches, kind of in his debut. Basically, he did well. Um, and especially now with no Damian Williams in there, the question is he going to get any receptions out of that backfield? As far as running back targets. If he does, he could be a potential league winner.
Yeah.
Um, in the sense over these next 3 or 4 weeks. I think if he shows out well, they actually can take their time with Montgomery, bringing him back. Maybe he stays out an extra week or two, um, depending on how he does. So again, I'm very excited to see this game and see how he does with this role. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think um a better question or a better grouping of backs is what Jay Media just asked. He asked Alex Collins or Khalil Herbert. Who do you think?
so we have the Seahawks playing against the Steelers.
Hmm.
I'll take Herbert over Collins this week.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say Herbert as well. They have the better matchup here. Green Bay is not doing well. Against the run as they have been. I mean, they're a little bit better. They're at 16th against the run. I rather have that than fourth, and that means I rather just go with that.
Absolutely. J Media in the house. What's up, J Media? Welcome back. What's up,
What
Fantasy
up, man?
Brainiacs? What up? He's letting us know the Packers are wearing their home green jerseys for an away game in Chicago. Um,
Ooh,
always fun
interesting.
when that happens. Love those little quirks in the game. Preston Robinson, what's up, man? Welcome to
What's
Get
up?
Right. Says he traded Metcalf, Sterling, Corey Davis, and Chuba for Cup, Eckler, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Kenyon Drake. Did he win? Absolutely, you won, my friend. You
Yeah,
got basically the RB2 overall right now in Eckler, with like the top three wide receiver and Cup, and the other pieces will work themselves out. And basically gave him it all away for a bunch of waiver wire fodder to me.
yeah. I agree. I mean,
Basically it was Metcalf for Cup and Eckler, and that's a steal.
yeah,
So well
yeah.
done.
That was my exact thought. I mean, honestly, you lost a little depth with Sterling Shepard, Corey Davis, and Metcalf while you're playing Metcalf. But yeah, I think you ultimately won that. So
Absolutely. And hey, my bad. He wrote it again. We will get to it, my friend. We do timestamps in the description for our game breakdown. So if we're in the middle of a breakdown, we get to the Q&A after that. So definitely keep your questions in. We get to all the questions here on the show. We're not big enough yet to not be able to get to all the questions. We'll be here for almost 3 hours tonight. So keep the questions coming. Hang out with us.
well, hopefully not.
Um, you tell me when, if it'll make it there or
Nah,
not.
we'll go
But
as far as we can.
we're willing to go 3 hours. Check out the videos on the channel. If you
Oh
guys
yeah.
are here, man, it's for you. So this is why we're here. So we appreciate it, Preston. Hit that like and subscribe button for us, man. We'd really appreciate it. Seven Rings in the house. I seen he was blowing up the Get
What
Right
up, Brooks?
Sleeper chat with a bunch of start to it questions, man. Love you being active in there. Appreciate it, Brooks. He says pick 2.5 PPR, Alex Collins, Damian Harris, A Rob, Hunter Henry, or AJ Dillon.
Oof.
Whoo, you got to pick 2 out of that, my guy.
Yeah.
Week
I'm
6 is brutal in
oof.
2021. If these are the
Um
decisions we have to make. I'm probably just quick answer. I'm gonna go in a half PPR. Um, give me
I know what you're gonna say too.
give me Dylan and Collins.
Oh, I thought you were at least gonna go Damian Harris.
No, I'm
It's
not
hard to
liking
go,
Harris right now.
dude. It's so hard to go AJ Dillon. He's so inconsistent. I have to go with Collins and Damian Harris. I have to. I don't trust A Rob. Hunter is and AJ Dillon I love. Like honestly, I really do, but it's so hard. It's so hard to trust that backfield until Jones gets hurt. And you know that more than anybody because you have that combo.
Yep. And the biggest thing with me though is just kind of look at what he's been producing there.
Yeah, he's been doing great.
Um, you know, eight. He's going to get you anywhere between 8 and 10 carries. The yardage could vary depending on if he pops one or not. We've seen him get 15 for 81. If the game script does get out of hand, they will run him and sit Jones. That's what you never know. What could happen there. And they're trusting him. Aaron Rodgers is trusting him out of the backfield. He went 4 for
True.
4 last game for 49 yards and a receiving touchdown. So that's huge. If both of these guys can be a dual threat out of the backfield, because then they can truly disguise what it is they're doing. And I think that's why he was so open. So again, when you're in kind of a decision here, you're kind of making the choice of two negatives. To me, I like that offense. I think Green Bay is going to be in a position to score, and as we've seen, he can do it. So
Okay.
I'll take the
I'm
kind of floor play with those two guys, him and Collins, hoping they score a touchdown. If you want to
yeah.
maybe go a little bit of upside, maybe you go A Rob, but I'm just not quite there yet with Justin Fields. I'm not feeling
No,
good
me
about
neither.
Harris, and I'm definitely not feeling good about Hunter Henry. So that's how I got to that decision.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
that,
for sure.
those are tough choices there. Collins is a starter for a guaranteed 3 weeks compared to Herbert, COVID fill-in.
No, I don't agree with that, Wilson. Not at all. And honestly, Herbert might take over that backfield. Last week he
Not
came
from
in.
Montgomery, but
No, 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 no. Understood. But
between him
Montgomery's
and
going to be
Williams,
out.
yeah.
But yeah, but that's my point. Montgomery coming back, yes, but that's a 5 week window that you have to play with. When it comes to just Damon Williams, I think he will take over from Damon Williams the start role and be more effective. He had 18 carries and was on the field more than Damon Williams. Damon Williams has always played that passing back role, like that pass catching role. So I think they're going to run it more with him. They're going to use him more like that. So maybe in half PPR or full PPR, I'm going Williams, but it will be Herbert more. I just have this feeling it's going to be him. He has more juice than anybody. Oof. And I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, my bad. I had you on
There
the
you go.
mute. Um,
No worries.
J Mayday here saying Christian McCaffrey or DK Metcalf. I'm saying Christian McCaffrey for this. It is a little
Oof.
worrisome that he's out for a third week when they could have put him on IR. It's kind of starting to resemble what happened last year when they didn't put
Yeah.
him on the IR and then he was out for 4 or 5 weeks with that ankle when they thought it was just going to be 2 or 3. So just be
I
careful with
told you.
that. It's a little tough. Again, it was considered a zero point 0.5 grade, hamstring pull,
Wow.
and now obviously that's probably not the case. So looks like he's doubtful this week, and I think he's officially out at this point, right?
Yeah, he's out. So either way, I'm going with Metcalf. I like Metcalf. I mean, if this is a today or like next few weeks, yeah, I'm going DK Metcalf compared to. If it's rest of season, then I might go see. Actually,
If
I
it's
might
rest of
stick with
season, it's
Metcalf.
Christian McCaffrey. Oh
For
God.
me, it's Metcalf, and it's
If
only
we have
because of the health.
if we have a league where you have McCaffrey and I have Metcalf, shoot me that offer all day.
No, I get it.
I'll
All
take
I'm
it.
saying is, I just
Especially with
he's
Metcalf, but
healthy.
no Russell Wilson for the next 8 weeks to potentially
Yeah, but
rest of the year.
Gino, I feel, but I don't feel like horrible that Gino's there compared to another guy. Like
Yeah.
honestly, I'm okay with DK Metcalf for the short term with, with Gino.
And I'm okay with
McCaffrey,
McCaffrey, so it's all
eh,
good. What
that's
up,
good.
Drew?
Yeah.
What up, Drew? He says, Mixon or Henderson rest of the season, full PPR.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
take
gonna say
Henderson.
Henderson. Yeah.
Look
um,
at his schedule. Go look at Henderson's
no, I
schedule. It's a
know.
nice schedule. You definitely have to worry about the
Mix
potential
himself. Yeah.
Sony Michelle eating into that backfield. I think they've kind of come out and said that they don't necessarily even want to give him full work. So now that I kind of think about that, maybe I do want Mixon.
I like Mixon
Because if
more.
he's healthy, he's going to give you that full workload there in Cincinnati. So I think I just talked myself out of it. I'll take Mixon.
Yeah, I like Mixon a lot better. I
If
mean,
they both stay healthy, I'll take Mixon. I just don't
yeah,
like
I mean,
Mixon's playoff schedule. I'd rather have Henderson's playoff schedule. And I still
I
think
agree.
he
I'm looking at
scores you a
I'm looking
touchdown.
at this I'm looking at the schedules now, and this is his best game other than the Jets and maybe the 49ers, or Cleveland near the end of the year. I mean, or not Cleveland, the Kansas City. That's tough. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Mixon. He's just more guaranteed, for with touches.
There it is. We got Preston here. Should I consider trading for Najee Harris? He's been great so far, but the guy who has him most likely values him too high. Do you expect regression? Um,
No,
no. So we agree on that.
no,
Najee's just one of those guys, and yeah, especially with the way running
go
backs are
for it.
falling right now, you can try, but I think we talked about this on our Wednesday
It'll be
show,
tough. Yeah,
Preston. No one's given up an RB1 right now unless you have an RB1 in return, and you're just kind of swapping because you maybe like, matchups, strength of schedule, the team he's on. Like that's the only reason why these top 10 running backs are going to be trading hands. You can try to shoot me a 3-for-1. I keep having people trying to trade me for Aaron Jones in my league. I'm like, bro, you don't have anything that's worth like I'm not even taking Tyreek Hill for Aaron Jones right now just because it's so valuable. I can go find wide receivers who can still have a bad week like Tyreek does. Maybe he doesn't blow up for 40, every 4 or 5 games, but at the same token, you know, it's not I mean, it is a drop off, don't get me wrong, but the drop off between Aaron Jones to whatever running back you're going to get in return is so huge that it's not worth trading these top running backs. Again, the only time you can go get one of these running backs is if they're hurt. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey. Maybe with this injury now with Christian McCaffrey and him not playing now in the third week, this is the time to go get him. If there's a chance to buy low still at him right now, go get it, especially if the CMC owner loses this week. Monday may be the last chance you could buy low on CMC before he comes back if that owner's fed
yeah,
up with him. Otherwise, you're not trading for a healthy RB1 right now. You're just not. I
yeah.
mean,
You're
you
not gonna be
you
able to
could
get him.
try, but at least for anyone that plays fantasy and understands the value of those guys are untradeable to me. So, again, that's just me, in my opinion.
No, fair. I mean, if you can get Najee, and go for it, but
Yeah,
it's going to
by
be a
all
hard
means,
time
try
getting him
it.
away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, try it.
but I do not, expect regression. He is the only guy there, and they run that offense through him. Just
Yeah.
try, but it's not happening for the
Especially in
regression.
a PPR league, like maybe you have a better chance in a non PPR, but in a PPR league, he's like top 3 or 4, running back right there now. Um,
Oh yeah, for sure.
so yeah, that's like the value that he's perceived at. So um, Neanderthal says, okay, I got this week question instead of a couple weeks out. He says, so Tua is coming back, but do you think this helps with the wide receivers and the running backs or Gasecki?
I mean, I think it helps everyone. I think the only person it probably doesn't help is Gasecki, uh, just because we saw what happened before he left. He just wasn't targeting him as much. Brissett was more that tight end guy compared to Tua. So, which is a little odd for a like second year type player. They like targeting those, tight ends that are in the short intermediate routes. So it's a little odd, but it does give a boost to everyone and possibly Gesicki. We just have to see, we have to give it another, a minute. What
Yeah.
about you?
I think it does help. I mean, I think we've seen the potential between Gesicki and Tua. Um, in the preseason, they had a really good connection going on. I just think sometimes when you get into a season, you might think you're something that you're not. I think at this point with that injury, I think the offense, they understand, what they have in that offense. They understand Gesicki is one of their playmakers, and they just need to get the ball in his hands. Between he and Waddle and Gaskins, that's the trio of talent on that team. Um, those are the guys who should be getting the most touches in that offense, and then they can have an opportunity to win with Tua back in the driver's seat. So that's my
Yeah.
opinion on that.
Okay.
We have Jonathan here saying, "I'm praying Tyree doesn't play. He will drop 50 against me if he plays. Washington football team can't stop anyone." I, I, I kind of agree. I think I'm playing against him in a couple leagues this week, so he probably will
Oh, I
go off.
can't wait.
That's
Can't
what
wait.
happens. That's what happens to me too. So, also, what's up, guys? How you been? What's up, man? Absolutely,
What's
doing
going
good.
on, Jonathan?
Doing good, doing good. J Media says Rashard Bateman, IR return finally, or Josh Gordon
Oof.
for a bench spot. Give me Bateman all day on that.
Yeah.
Bateman or Gordon
Yeah.
for you, Mike.
That's a tough one.
No, it's not. Say Bateman. He's
Well, I'm
big
gonna go
football, a
with
lot
Bateman,
sooner
but
than
I
Gordon.
just it's
One
tough,
catch for
man.
10 yards. Get out of here with
Okay.
that.
He's still decent.
Boss man Fat, welcome back, my friend. What's up? What up? What up? On my bench, I have Brandon Ayuk, Cole Beasley, and Tyler Boyd. Should I replace any of them with Robbie Anderson, who just got dropped?
Ooh, he's
Um,
being dropped for a reason,
yeah.
and I like
Uh,
Robbie Anderson.
yeah. I'd kind of stick with who you have. I don't mind those
Yeah.
guys. Again, Robbie Anderson is pretty much like Ayuk at this point. I think Beasley and
Yeah.
Boyd, you're definitely holding on to. But if you feel more comfortable with Anderson over Ayuk at this point, just over personal preferences. But to me, I like Ayuk's build. I like his speed. I like the offense that he's in.
I
He'll
like
have
the
his
situation.
opportunities. Yeah, he'll have his opportunities. He's just off to a slow start here. So.
Well,
Um,
that and he'll be able to get more touches with George Kittle out.
Yeah,
So
especially these next couple weeks. So
yeah, he's got 2-3 weeks left.
absolutely. Anthem Man, YT. Should I trade Cook, Madison, and D Hop for AJ Brown, Mike Thomas, and Damian Harris and Gibson? I mean, if you
No,
need depth, I guess you could,
I
but for
wouldn't.
the most part, I'm keeping Cook and Madison. That means you're
Yeah.
basically locked up. You don't have to worry about Cook's, issue. We've seen what Madison can do in a replacement role. Honestly, I would try to see if you can maybe just flip D Hop for AJ Brown and Mike Thomas. If you can make that happen
Yeah.
right now, I would take that possibly, or maybe get AJ Brown and Gibson, for D Hop. If you can pull that, I'd rather take that and let him keep Thomas and Damian Harris at this point, and you keep Cook
Yeah.
and Madison. What defenses should I look at streaming this week? I was thinking Dallas, but Green Bay is also available. I will cede this one to you, Mike. I don't know anything about defenses. I
Um
just pick up whatever one's there playing against a terrible offense, and it tends to work out with me.
yeah.
As long as I get like
Yeah.
7 or 8 points on my defense, like I didn't, you know, poop the bed, so to speak. So go ahead.
No, I get that. I mean, honestly, you want to aim for the rookies, and I know that these are both against rookies. You got Dallas against Mac Jones, and you got Green Bay against Justin Fields. You have to kind of you have to curb expectations a little bit because it sometimes can go one way or another. But I like Green Bay, compared. Um, i- but sometimes it's better to go against the I don't know. I would go Green Bay. It's really tough picking the divisional games because they end up becoming really tight and sometimes can get out of control, where with points. I would pick Green Bay just because Justin Fields is less developed than Mac Jones because we clearly see that Mac Jones can actually play well. So I would go with Green Bay over Dallas at this point. And if you want to jump to Boss Man Fat, who's asking another defensive question, Colts are they a good start? Yes. Just start your Colts. Anytime you see if you ever look at the spread, and that's what we talk about a lot in the beginning of these particular matchups, and that's why we break these games down
43
for
and a
you.
half. Yeah.
It 43.5, and Colts are favored by 10. If you see the favorite being 10 and you have, the defense available to pick up, or you're the one that, has them, play them. Like that's your best bet, most of the time, because if Vegas is thinking they're going to be winning by 10, well, there's a good chance that they're going to be winning by 10. So,
Right.
um,
And they're going
I'm not
against
saying that they
Houston.
will,
It's going
but you're
against
going
Houston.
against Houston. Just
So that's
target.
always this stream. Absolutely.
I always like to target I target the Jets, and I target the Houston Texans. Go for those guys, always aim for those defenses.
And the 0-5 Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Neanderthal says, thanks, bro. That was very helpful and encouraging for those of us with Miami. So given that breakdown there, we appreciate that. Wilson says, Kittle and Russell Wilson was just dropped in my league. Grab him up, put him in your IR spot. If you have one, if you don't have an IR spot, then, I mean, again, if you have somebody you could drop for him, then I'd wait on those guys, especially Kittle. He belongs on a roster. I have a trade proposal out for him at the moment that we're speaking in several leagues. Neanderthal says, oh yeah, we already got there.
Yep.
There we go.
Felton. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so
we're going to be talking about him later.
Yeah, so we'll get into that waiver pickup with Nick Chubb out. Play him or
not
stay
a bad
away.
pickup.
So yeah, we'll get into that when we get into that breakdown. Stay with us, J Media. And if you have to go, we'll have it. What do they call that? With a timestamp. So you can go check that out. We'll definitely be covering him in that breakdown. So we have Drew saying we're trading Hendo and Lockett for Keenan Allen. I'm extremely pessimistic on how Lockett will perform with Geno. My answer is no. If you're giving up a running back and a wide receiver and only getting a wide receiver in return, especially basically a low end RB1 at this point with Henderson, if you want to even call him that, because of lack of other starting caliber running backs that get that type of opportunity. I'm not making that trade, almost depending on who those names are. I said there's a line, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, that's where I'm going. I mean, if you got the depth to be able to trade off Hendo to get Keenan Allen, I'm okay with it. But for now, you're good with what you got. I mean, a lot of times you might think it's a good idea to trade to level up, and you pretty much don't. I've had that happen plenty of times, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but most of the time it doesn't. You're better off sticking with what you got.
Yeah, and I just want to take a moment also and let you guys know too. We basically talk 12-team full PPR. So when you're asking us questions, it's basically built on a full PPR, 12-team league. We'll kind of vary if it's a 10-team league. So if it's outside of kind of those parameters, make sure you let us know, what type of league it is. And again, just let us know those additional details, or else we're basing it off of that. Wilson says if the Rams defense is available, grab them. The Cards D this week. They should be a low score. Plus, they have the Texans next week. So good looking ahead, just like Neanderthal there. I really got worried about Lamar's sickness because I had Hurts on my bench and he had already played. Ooh. But I'm glad he got cleared. Yeah, that's always tough, man. When those things happen. So just always have a plan Z. If we've learned anything playing fantasy football, is don't take anything for granted. So we got Jonathan here again saying, would you consider James Robinson, Mixon, and Barkley good depth for RBs in an 8-man league?
I do.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, again, if you can, if there's opportunities, to trade up, I would. Again, you want to target guys like Montgomery, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon, who you have. You want to try to target those kind of guys so that you have a good playoff strong team.
Yeah.
Especially an A team.
Yeah, I'm going to sit there and tell you that you have great depth. Team. Yeah. Yeah. That's great depth. I have Robinson and Mixon in a 12. So, I'm not liking it right now, but at the same time, I don't have someone like Barkley to, be that other guy. So, I have Gaskin instead. So, I think you're doing just fine.
Yeah, I got Aaron Jones and Barkley, and then yeah, I'm hurting this week. Hurting this week.
Well, and the reason why he wants to, or I want to move Robinson, but I don't want him to break out like last year. And I don't blame you, dude. I'm in the same boat, but I'm on board with him. Just don't. He's one you can't drop or trade right now. Just leave him alone. Keep him on your team.
Yeah. And he's going to be getting wacky offers for the King and Patterson that are barely worth Patterson. Jerry,
Yeah,
like I was saying
exactly.
earlier in the show, the King is definitely one of those guys who are untradeable.
Yeah.
You could send me, even I wouldn't even trade Henry for Christian McCaffrey at this point.
Sorry.
Oh no, did you drop your beer? That's no good.
No, unfortunately, I
Oh,
dropped
okay.
my Lawrence Taylor. He fell.
Oh, your bobblehead.
He
Oh,
decided
okay. That's all
he
right.
decided
Hopefully,
to, yeah,
yeah,
did
we
a
know.
couple of things
We
and
know
fell
what he
off.
did. Yeah, we know what he did. But yeah, he's untradeable. Patterson, where you drafted him or getting him off a waiver, you got to just ride that train off until the wheels fall off, unless you can get a long term, starting piece that's better than what he's been producing now. Otherwise, you hold on to him. Anthem Man says, "What's your opinion on D Hop now with the Ertz trade?" We did cover that earlier. We
Yeah,
think it
doesn't
definitely
change.
puts it puts a hamper on it. I mean, again, those are more targets that could be
Mm,
spread out in an offense that's already spread out. My love for Hopkins is still kind of dwindling a bit just because his ceiling is capped. By no means, his hands, his route running is still second to none.
yeah, his
He
hands
should be
are.
getting minimum 10 targets a game. If not, they're not running that offense properly. That's my opinion.
No, honestly,
You want to add anything on that?
I'm gonna, because he's gonna be fine. The offense is one of the fastest in the league. They tend to have more plays than anybody. Just don't stress out about him right now. He's gonna be fine. D Hop is gonna be fine. Even with Ertz there, it'll be fine.
Yep. You said he wouldn't trade Henry for his fantasy life. Agreed. You just go down.
No.
He goes down with the ship. He's the captain of the ship. He goes down
Oh,
with the
for
ship.
sure. I'm running Henry, Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, and Gaskin in one league. With Cooper Cup, Cooper Cup, Amari Cooper, and Tyreek Hill. I'm not letting go of any of those guys.
Is that your hanging with Mr. Cooper Lee? That should be
No,
your team name.
no. My best ball league, I have Mixon Cooper and Cooper Cup, and I named it Mixon for Cooper. Wait, mixing it up with Cooper and Cup. That's what it was, or mixing it
Okay.
up with Cooper and Cup, or
Oh,
something
that's
like that.
cute. That's cute.
Yeah, I tried. But no, that league's my Jimmy Graham in the flex league. That's my running inside joke in my league. I
Yikes.
I beat a guy. I beat a guy that I hate like really bad, and I beat him with putting Jimmy Graham in the flex. So I ended up changing my team name to Jimmy Graham in the flex, and I put his name, or I put his face of like a picture of him with like this
As the
handlebar
avatar.
mustache. Well, he has a handlebar mustache. I don't know why he did it. He did it years ago, and I took his face and put it on Jimmy Graham's body, flexing like this. So I just forever, that's my team name.
Very nice. Well done. I like it. Jonathan Smith says, "Do you think Hollywood Brown will keep up his streak with Bateman joining back?" We did talk about that
I
earlier
think
as
so.
well. I think he's fine. I definitely want to see it. Um, Let me see a game with the two of them and see how they. We're going to need 2 or 3 weeks to evaluate it and see what happens. But I think it could be good for both of them, especially with the way Lamar's throwing right now.
Yeah.
Good things can come, out of this offense, especially with no running game. They could just put it all in the air, which could hurt, help with both of them with Lamar running underneath. So, is what it is.
Yeah.
Someone in my league had Darrell Henderson on his bench and starts Mixon, or I'm sorry, and
What?
starts Miles Sanders, but
Sanders?
refuses and rejects all my trades for him. It's very odd. Some
Hey,
people are
man.
like that. Yeah, it just
Yeah,
happens,
I
man.
I have something in that. I have the same thing where I have a guy that doesn't play Zach Moss at all. Like I've looked at his complete schedule, and he hasn't played him once. I've offered him over trades, like trades that you would, like, anyone else in the world would be like, "Why are you offering me this trade?" and like I don't understand why he will not accept it. I offered a 5th round draft pick for next year
Sometimes
for
people just don't like you and they don't want to help
yeah,
you.
clearly. But at
It
the same
happens.
time, he has good
It's
depth,
fantasy
and I'm like,
football.
it is what it is. But there's not much you can really do about it.
Overpay. When you get those
Yeah.
kind of guys, you got
Well,
to
that's what I'm
overpay.
doing. Yeah.
Overpay. Um,
Oh, don't.
Jonathan, if you're playing in the league with vetoes, man, just get out. Like that's just how
Oh
you
yeah,
handle that.
just leave that league. It's not
Next,
worth it.
hey, next year off season, we'll have a ton of leagues. Make sure you join that Get Right Sleeper community.
Oh
Hit the
yeah, for
description,
sure.
go all the way down. There's going to be tons of leagues in there. We're going to be doing the building blocks league. We have 2 different listener leagues. We'll be putting more leagues together for next year.
Whole bunch of
A
best
lot
ball
of different
leagues.
stuff we're going to be doing. A ton of best ball, of course. With Underdog Fantasy, in addition to our regular best ball leagues on Sleeper. So we'll definitely be doing all that. And if you do go on to Underdog Fantasy, make sure you use that promo code Get Right. Just a quick little take there.
Hey man,
Hot take from
you didn't even get me time to go over here and do this.
yeah,
Like
no, that was just a quick one. That was a quick one. We just threw that one in there for all of our viewers right now in case they missed it earlier. So hot take from J Media. He's saying Darrell Williams is greater than Darrell Henderson
Ooh,
rest of
no.
season. That is a hot
Sorry,
take.
brother.
I
No.
like it. If Frank was here, he would write it down. That's why it's a hot take. You should get that kind of response, and so when it happens, that's when you can
No.
LOL J Media and tell Mike I told you so. So just find this clip, hour and 2 minutes in. Make sure you play it for him. Send it to him in a text when D Williams outproduces D Henderson. All right. So Anthem Man says, and Terry, I feel like I will have an amazing game against the Chiefs. After, do I look to sell? Do I look to sell high?
Terry McLaurin? You
I don't
could
think
if
you
you
need.
want.
Yeah, I mean you could. Depends on who you're trying to target. Um, I don't know. I
I'm
think you're
good with
fine
it.
with him.
Yeah.
He's not someone I'm looking to just move to move. Again, if you have somebody offering you something, or there's a specific guy that you like watching or playing with, or that you want to have on your team, then go get him because he definitely has value. So I'm sure whatever you're trying to get, you can probably make it work. Jonah Archmage Eternal, welcome back. My situation went from winnable to terrible. His opponent had Brady Leonard and Brown and up
Ooh.
80 points. Chubb and D Williams are out, and I'm kind of lost with where to go from here. Gaskin or Herbert? I think we're going Herbert in this one, right? Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
We were
I
talking about
want to
that earlier.
say Gaskin, but it has to be Herbert, right?
Just
Like,
with again, and if it's PPR, you could take. I feel a little more
yeah.
comfortable with
PPR, I'd
Gaskin.
be Gaskin. Yeah.
But with I'm seeing 20 touches out of Herbert this week. So if you're
Yeah,
telling
me
me,
too.
you know, would I rather have 5 catches with Gaskins and
No.
his 5 carries and 5 catches, or do I want Herbert's 20 touches and maybe
Or
2 or 3
10.
catches? Um, I'll take
No, you know
Herbert.
what? I'm going to stick with Gaskin, and the only reason is because Jags defense stinks against the run. So
There you go.
I'll stick with that.
There you go. But they don't run him. Is my point. When
No,
they're
I
running out the
agree,
clock, they
but
put in Malcolm Brown. So I have to see that
yeah, I
change.
hate that
It
so
was
much.
because they were going against Tampa. You don't run against Tampa. So
No, I know. Well,
again,
they
I
ran him
have to
5 times,
see
and he still got 5 yards of
5 times.
carry against them.
I'm
Doesn't
just
matter.
saying, but only 5
Yeah.
times because they're expecting run every time. So, or
Okay.
they're expecting pass. So, I don't
Yeah.
know. I got to see it. If you tell me they're going to give Gaskins 15, I mean that's why we all drafted him. We thought he was going to get 15 to 20 carries plus be used like that in the
Oh,
passing game. If
took him
he's the
6 weeks
feature back,
last week.
then I'll take him. Yeah.
It took
So
him
again,
6 weeks last year. So let's see.
yeah, it's just it's interesting. I got offered Dalvin Cook and James Robinson straight up. Dalvin Cook for James Robinson straight up, and it got vetoed. I was so sad, and that's why you get
Yeah.
out of the league, man.
Yeah.
And that's
Don't
why you
deal
get out
with
of those
vetoes.
leagues. I hate that, dude. The
Oh,
only
me
time
too.
anything should be vetoed unless if it's
No,
collusion.
there should be no veto. If your trade is so
If
over
it's
the
agreed,
top
if it's
bad,
consented between 2 parties, nobody else should care who or what's going on behind the
exactly.
behind those curtains, so to speak, as long as it's
If
not
it's
collusion.
blatant, well, and that's the problem is everyone thinks that it's collusion because you're trading a guy like Dalvin Cook for James Robinson, and you think that it's a everyone thinks that it's going to be like that they talked and it's some no. It could be that you value James Robinson more than Dalvin Cook, which is your choice to do. I don't agree with it, but in this particular case, I'm not going to veto a trade that do like that. Am I going to give you shit for it? Oh, of course. I'm going to sit there and be like, what the hell did you do?
Yeah.
But if that's on you. And I'm not gonna sit like I had a guy in my league trade a first and a 10th for Travis Kelsey and ended up giving up Kyle Pitts, thinking that Kyle Pitts was gonna be the next guy. And I'm sitting there like, no, he's not making top 10 this year. He had a great game against the Jets, but everyone has a great game against the Jets. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. It's one of those things where I wish I could change things and make it where I can like veto it, but I'm sitting there like, why? It's not my team. So
Mm-hmm. Ryan, I traded CD Lamb and Cleo Herbert for Terry McLaurin. Was that a win?
yeah,
These are the
yeah,
kind of trades I like to do, man. You pick up a waiver wire guy that's only
yeah,
going to be useful for a couple games. You package him with somebody. Again, CD Lamb, it's looking like that's going to more of a running offense. It's not, what we thought that offense was going to be,
yeah,
between 300 and 500 passing yards, any given week, where those guys were eating. They're obviously running the ball more there, more balanced offense. So I don't mind this,
yeah. I don't
especially the
mind that
way
trade.
Washington's defense has been playing. To me, this is what
Yeah,
you do. Plus, you're opening up a spot. You've upgraded your starters, and you're opening a spot in your roster, especially with bye weeks coming up, to be able to pick somebody up or stash somebody else on IR. So I like it.
yeah.
That's
I
my
like
kind of
it.
trade, Ryan. Um, oh yeah, and Drew said yeah because he mega panicked over there. How do we feel about Dearness Johnson or Felton clearing the backup this week to Kareem Wilson?
We'll
Hang
talk
out.
about that.
We'll talk about that
Yeah.
when we get into the Cleveland game. Got to love when people ship players off after a stinker game,
Well,
and to me, that's fantasy football, man. And again,
yeah,
that's why things shouldn't be vetoed. You need to be able to take advantage of people panicking and doing what they need to do. Again, it's not cheating. It's taking advantage of a situation.
yeah. I mean,
You know,
I like to mention for those types of leagues, like to the players that I know this is about just shipping off a bad player after a bad game or whatever, but there are times where you also get in this time of the year where it's week 6, someone is 1-5, and they're just like, I'm done. And they trade off their whole team, and it gets to the point where they just finish last. They're the quote unquote taco team where you're basically facing the worst guy every week. And to me, we set up rules in my league where you're paying for third place next year. So you're paying 2 dues next year if you're in last place. Try to set up things in your league to make it so that
last place
that does
punishment.
not happen. Oh yeah, just
Absolutely.
either a last place punishment that is fair that everyone agrees upon, because a lot of times, people don't agree upon it. I mean, you can do all those things that you hear about from like Matthew Berry, where they, the tattoo leagues and the I don't know, the other types of, you see the guys on the side of the road holding I suck at fantasy football, you can do all that, go for it. But at the same time, as long as everyone's okay with it, make it so that that doesn't happen. Make it so that everyone has to kind of think and go, should I really get rid of Dalvin Cook right now? I would really, think about that for your leagues.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, it should be Gaskin, but they
Yeah,
just
it should be.
decide not to give him the ball. Exactly.
Yeah, let's not.
Jonas says, I mean, if Tua is playing full PPR, I want Gaskin, but I don't trust Miami's offensive coordinator. Yep, that's basically what we're saying. Just catching up
Yeah, they changed it up.
on the chats here. Jonah, take the L. You're getting too granular. Or hit them up for a direct therapy session. No, it's all good, man. That's what we're here for. This whole show's a therapy session, man. This is what we're here for.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Kevin Martinez? I don't
Hey,
recall,
Kev.
man, if you're new to
No,
the
I've heard.
channel or not.
I think I've
Oh,
seen him
he's
here
been here
before.
before. Okay, so
Hmm.
welcome back then. If you are, hopefully you have that subscribe button, which is hopefully why you're here. He says, should I start Melvin Gordon over Khalil Herbert? So is Herbert one of those guys you're starting Gordon over, or you're starting over Gordon? I say yes. Is
I
my quick
am.
answer on that. Yep.
Yeah,
And
me too.
basic premise is I think he gets more touches. That's a split backfield between Melvin and Javante right now.
I think
Um,
Javante takes it.
I think Herbert, yeah, in the long term, I don't think it's this week, but
Yep.
specifically for this week, I think Herbert has a potential of 20 touches. He had 18 last game, so with Damian out, I don't think they'll give him 35, but I think he should see 20 this week is what I'd hope for. Should I trade CMC for Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt while having Zeke, Cordell, and Melvin? Again, to me, CMC is one of those guys who's untradeable, especially if you have this type of depth. Possibly if you have these guys, I'm thinking it's maybe a 10-team league. You can maybe get away with this if they went, if Mahomes went in the first round and Kelsey went in the first round and a ton of receivers went early in a PPR. I could see how you could have this backfield, go CMC and then Chubb and Zeke maybe on that 2-3 turn.
Well, no. He's looking to get CMC, so he got Chubb in the first, and they got.
Oh,
Zeke
it said Chubb and Hunt. My bad. Okay, I read that wrong. So he went CMC and then Zeke.
Yeah, because he definitely got Zeke and then Chubb and then got Kareem in about maybe a round or two after. So for me, I don't think you should do it at all. I think you have plenty of depth with what you got. I think Kareem Hunt is more valuable than I think Chubb and Kareem Hunt are more valuable than CMC, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. CMC just doesn't do it for me with his the soft tissue injuries are going to linger with the ACL. Coming back from it. It happens to everybody. If you look statistically, it just every single time someone comes back.
CMC never hurt his ACL. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he tore his ACL. Not this year. I'm saying last year he tore his ACL and then he's coming back from a torn ACL. Every time someone comes back from it, they always have some type of soft tissue.
When did CMC tear his ACL? You need to Google. I don't think he did, man. He had that high
What did he tear?
And then he came back and had a hamstring injury and then came back and had another it was just like a knee or something like that. I don't think he tore.
I thought it was an ACL tear.
He played in like week 13. If he tore his ACL, there's no way he's playing week 1 of this year. No way he's playing week 1 of this year if he tore his ACL in week 13 or 14 last year. I guarantee that. Help me out in the chat here, guys.
Yeah, I'm looking.
But we'll get to that.
It was an LCA tear.
Not all. And I thought you mentioned that in a previous episode. I was going to get in that argument with you then, but the moment passed. But now that you mentioned it,
no worries.
I had to correct you on that one. But while you look that up, I'll get to another one. Do we still consider the Chiefs versus Washington football team a powwow rivalry? I don't know. The whole yeah. I mean, I guess not
that's
anymore,
my next. Honestly, it's tough, man. If you're looking defensively, I thought about picking up the Chiefs.
Yeah. But getting back, no, he's just talking about a general, just basic, not a fantasy question. Should I trade CMC and Nick Chubb for Kareem Hunt? So getting back to this, Kevin, I say hold CMC. No. It sounds like Mike says trade him away and get Chubb and Hunt. Obviously, with Chubb being hurt right now, he may be out, for a while. I don't know. I'm not trading CMC for Kareem Hunt at this point. So that's just me, especially with CMC about to come back. If you've held on for this long, just wait another week or two. You've already waited this long. Do we still consider the Chiefs? Or no, we already got that. So should I trade Lamar Jackson and Emmanuel Sanders for Dak and Tyreek Hill while having Tom Brady as my QB1 in a 1 QB league? In a 1 QB league, I wouldn't mind doing this.
I would do that.
I would do that in a heartbeat. 1 QB league for sure. Yeah, absolutely, Kevin.
I would do that. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, again, Lamar Jackson.
And I mean, if you're carrying.
But yeah, you're fine.
You're carrying Tom, and then oh my god! I mean, I'm assuming this is
not like gaudy, but I mean, it's a good. I mean, it's a good trade.
You're holding Tom Brady and Dak. I mean, I like the trade. You're getting Tyreek Hill.
He has Tom Brady and Lamar right now. He'd be trading Lamar and getting Dak in return and Tyreek Hill.
I understand that. That's my point. You're getting Dak and Brady. I mean, I like it. Either way, you're getting. I'm good with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, last year someone did that before the playoffs and gave me the championship opponent.
That's always the worst.
And Kamara. Ooh, 5 touchdown game of Kamara. Yeah, we lost.
I won that. I got through that. Oh, it was the worst. And I played Gaskin, Jeff Wilson, Diggs, and Montgomery in that particular thing, and I beat them.
There it is.
Third place.
I'll be back at my college. Just went into overtime, and I need to watch and pray that they still stay undefeated.
Yeah, what's your college?
Good luck. Good luck to you. I got offered Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, and Lat Murray and Melvin Gordon. I already don't like it. When you're starting
Yeah.
to involve this many players, it gets crazy.
Yeah, when you get
Um,
4, it's
yeah,
crazy.
like I'm down for a good old 3-on-3 to 2, but when you start getting more than this, it gets crazy.
No, you're
Might as
doing
well,
4 you're doing
might as well
4
just might as well just switch teams at this point. But here, I'll finish it out. So, Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, Latavius Murray, and Melvin Gordon for Aaron Rodgers and Jonathan Taylor, and his other RBs are Chase Edmonds and Mike Davis. So
Oh, I see why he's doing it though. I'm not against the trade. It's just
I'll take Jonathan Taylor in this deal. So give me the Jonathan Taylor side.
yeah, yeah. If you're yeah, no, he has Aaron Rodgers and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, stick with what you have.
So stick with what you got. Yeah.
Those aren't good enough running backs. If he had a better running
Herbert.
back, like even if he would have got maybe a hurt Montgomery and then one of these guys, but I wouldn't take
So hold on. Would you do Justin Herbert and Mike Williams for Aaron Rodgers and Jonathan Taylor?
no, not at all.
I would.
You'd have to what? Then why wouldn't you take this trade then? Because you're also
No,
getting
no, no,
2 running
no.
backs then.
I don't care
And
about those 2. I would rather get them off of it and just keep the depth that I have.
no, you're getting
I don't
2
know.
extra players. You wouldn't do it for 2 extra players, but you would do it for 2
No.
less players. That doesn't make any sense, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, fair. No, you're right. You're
You're
right.
getting 2 extra running backs for no reason. You're like, "No, I
All right,
wouldn't do
never
that at
mind.
all."
I'm gonna
But if you
stick.
take
I'm gonna.
those 2 running
Yeah,
backs out, smashing that accept button. That doesn't make any
nah,
sense, my friend.
yeah. I just don't like the other
I
2.
mean,
I
yeah,
would
you
just
gotta
trade them
drop
or drop
players
them.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, exactly. But I'm just saying, at least go drop them and let them go on waivers and
No.
make people bid on them. And anyway, Haz Idris, if I said that right, Haz
Yeah.
Idris,
What's
what's
up,
up,
man?
man? Idris, should I trade? Welcome to Get Right Fantasy, man. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for us. Should I trade Gibson, and who should I try and get for him in a PPR? It's kind of tough with
Yeah,
Gibson
we
right
don't know your
now.
league.
I
Yeah.
don't know your league, your settings, and all that kind of stuff. But if you go hit that description, scroll down to where you see the Get Right Fantasy sleeper channel, click that link, come join the community there. Post a picture of your full team, and if you even want to, let us know some guys you're looking to target or some of the other teams on there, we'll break down your whole team, your whole league for you in there. So make sure you hit that link, and maybe Mike, if you want to find it in one of our old descriptions, maybe throw that in the chat so people can get the link in the chat
Yeah, I got
if
you.
you want to work on that.
Yeah, I
Do I
got you.
trade Mike Thomas and Aaron Jones for Keenan Allen? Oh wait, so do I trade Mike Thomas and Aaron Jones or Keenan Allen and Aaron Jones for Kamara and Amari Cooper, or Kamara and Ridley, or Kamara and Waller? So Rosny and
No,
Heo, no. To me, Aaron Jones is one of those untradeable
no.
guys. I don't like again that New Orleans offense is so up and down. We've seen again Kamara's good, but I like kind of those guys you have. I don't like again where that offense is heading with Cooper. I'm not feeling Ridley at all. If anything, maybe you can consider Waller, but Waller hasn't even produced like the top 3 tight end. He had that nice week 1, but since then has been pretty quiet. Since that first week 1. So I'd probably just stick with Aaron Jones and Keenan Allen at this point. So, and just wait for Mike Thomas to come back, or just try to trade Mike Thomas for something else that you can use now.
Yeah,
There's a
I
chance Mike
agree.
Thomas doesn't come back at all. Just FYI. Seems he had hammy issues. Yep. So Brooks, good looking out. We're getting caught up on that. Did you get that research in there yet?
Yeah, I got in there.
So did he tear it? Was I wrong? Who's right?
Oh, did I get to that? Oh, no, no, no.
Yeah,
I was looking up
Christian
the sleeper
McCaffrey.
thing.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
almost
All
there.
right, you're working on that. All right. You can't
Yeah.
find it because it didn't happen. That's why you can't find it.
Yeah,
It'll be like
I
front page
really
news.
do. I think you're right. I think it was the high ankle. Yeah.
That's what
It's
I would.
either
I
way.
had Christian McCaffrey last year, so I traded for him. I
Yeah.
had him everywhere, so I know. I knew exactly what was going
It
on
just
there.
felt like an ACL tear.
Yeah, no, basically it was, but yeah. Remember, he played
Yeah.
like week 13 or 14. There's no way he's back
No, that's right. You're right.
for week
Yep.
1.
Yeah,
He'd
my
still
bad.
be out. He'd be almost this whole year if he tore it that late in the season. So
Yeah, my bad.
anyway, it's all good. It happens, man. We're doing a lot of research here. I'm not going to hold you to one little
I never played
injury.
him. Honestly, I never played CMC because I just never I never got the opportunity. I almost never like drafting a first round guy unless I have to. Like I'd rather trade out of it to get more in the second round or third round for value, but that's just me.
That's you. Are you
Yeah.
flexing with Alex Collins or AJ Dillon this week?
Collins.
I agree. Go Collins. It's more of a sure backfield. Doesn't mean AJ won't outproduce him.
Yeah.
You just, when you're making these type of decisions, give me the guy who's going to get the volume at this point, and I'll live with the result. If
Yeah, I
Hunt was
think I have
still
him
on
ranked
the
higher.
Chiefs, would that change your mind? Well, yeah, because then he'd be a starting running back over there. Still, he'd still be an RB1. This is why he produces. He's probably one of the most valuable RB2s that are out there, standalone value.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the best handcuff out there is Alexander Madison. We've seen him, produce that
Oh
this
yeah.
year. So I love Hunt and Madison. I wish I could have got more shares of Hunt, but he was just going a little too high for what
Yeah.
I wanted. I usually still want at least a starting running back where he was going.
So who are your top 3 handcuffs?
Top 3 handcuffs.
NFL.
Madison, Dillon, and probably Pollard right now, I would
Ooh,
say are the
okay.
top 3. Just
Not
because
even Hunt.
if they're well, I guess so, huh, since I just said that. It's just he has so
Yeah,
much
that's
standalone
why.
value by himself, I don't even consider him a handcuff. I consider him a fantasy starter.
Understood. But
So,
we're going to
as
be
a
talking about
number 2
Cleveland, but
running back, yeah, as a number 2 running back, he's definitely up there in the top 3.
okay.
And we'll see that here. He should get 20 carries unless they
Yeah, I'm in
split
the
it,
same boat.
which we'll get into here whenever we get to our breakdowns.
Yeah,
But I
no worries.
love hanging out in the chat here. This is what it's all about. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I would change my mind, Ryan, just to get with that. Kevin, do you consider the Chiefs a championship contender even though their defense is trash? Not unless they get their defense fixed. Defense a lot of times is effort and scheme. Obviously, you have to have talent as well. So
They
they
have
just
to
have to
beat
get
the
it
Bills.
together, and I think their offense needs to get better even more so than their defense. Their offense can be more defensive when they're putting up 40, and you can let those pass rushers, just get after it, and
No.
you're not dealing with it. So
They're hurt on the defensive side too with Chris Jones.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You're gonna have to let him peel his ears back and get after the
Yeah.
quarterback. So
Well,
how much
they
is
keep
someone?
him on the inside too. I mean, he's a D tackle, but they've been trying to like put him on the outside, and he just doesn't work that way. Keep him on the inside.
Yeah.
Oh,
How much should
but
someone offer for Michael Thomas?
it's based on what you're asking for.
I mean, whatever someone's willing to pay, really.
Yeah,
I think
he
we're
doesn't want to overpay for him. So I mean,
how much should someone offer?
Unfortunately he's a paralleled type trade unless you want to add a running back to it. You can't really trade. You're not going to trade anybody in the top tiers, and you're not going to trade anybody in that's a wide receiver 2, maybe a low end are wide receiver 2 that
Well,
has some upside.
I'll tell you a trade I did that involved Michael Thomas just last week.
Yeah, true.
So I traded Damian Harris. As you
Okay.
know, I'm low on him.
Yeah.
So I traded Damian Harris and Michael Thomas for Javonte Williams and Chris Godwin.
Is this dynasty?
No. It's
Okay.
12 team
Just
non
redraft.
PPR redraft.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I do
again,
that.
that's our basis of what we're assuming. This is non PPR,
No,
but
no, I
our
get it.
basis is 12 team PPR redraft. That's how we're assuming these questions. If it's dynasty or some other type of league, definitely let us know. But we're going under the assumption of it's redraft.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm looking at
he
trading
just
for
doesn't want
him,
to
but I don't want to
overpay.
overpay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
So
blame him.
again, that's about what I did. But I think he works better in a package for somebody
Yeah.
who might need a number one later on down the road, or at least that potential. So let's see. San Diego State University currently up 12-6 in a game that should have been a blowout. Well, good luck to you, Jonah. We're rooting for you here. Unless I guess there's somebody else going against you, then I guess you'd put us in a bad position because we want to root for everybody here. I get right. So I didn't do the trade. I just got offered it. So Ryan was saying he didn't do it. He
Good.
he was just been offered.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
What happened to Dustin? He might be back. He might pop in. Him or Frank, they might pop in here a little bit later. It's always welcome. So let's see here. Not fantasy, but I had some game parlay for last night's game. One of the legs was Jalen Hurts over 44.5 rushing yards, and he finished with 44.
Oh, that's the
Every other
worst.
leg parlay hit. Oh man, should have bought
That's
down
the
that
worst.
yard.
No, he
That's
probably. Well,
terrible.
oh no, you didn't take a kneel. I thought it would be like a kneel. Those are the
Oh
worst. When you like,
yeah, that's when you break your
oh,
TV, dude.
have
Yeah,
you
I
ever?
feel you
Oh,
on
for
that.
sure. Have you ever seen that when it comes to like you're beating the guy by like this many, and then it's like 0.02, and then all of a sudden he takes the knee, and it's like a tie,
Yeah,
or the opposite where you lose.
or
Like,
you
oh,
lose
I
because of
hate
it.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
those are the
I
worst.
hate that.
Hector Gonzalez, welcome back, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown
Hey,
or
Hector.
Rashad Bateman in the flex. I'd say
Oh,
Amon-Ra at this
I'm
point,
on.
just because he's
Yeah,
been playing. We kind of know what he's going to get. If you want to take a shot in the dark and play, get an upside play in there, you can go after Bateman. But again, we don't know how many snaps he's going to get. He may play only 25% of
I'm raw.
snaps. He is coming off of a core muscle surgery. Again, dude had surgery. We're talking insides healing and stuff like that. I doubt they just, start putting him over the middle and, taking hits, right away. And who knows how much the offense he's been able to do or practice. So again, I don't think he just walks into 10 targets and, playing 70, 80% of the snaps. Take it a little easy. Again, if these are your options, I'm sure there's better options out there. But again, just depending on your league, if this is your decision, I'd go Amon-Ra. I know that was a little long
Yeah,
for
me
that,
too.
but
No, I was gonna say easy. Say the same thing. Go.
well done. Um, and then just for you guys that don't know, there's the link for the sleeper channel. So
Yep.
that's not going to send you anywhere crazy. It's in the description. It's here in the chat. If you want to be part of the sleeper community, click that link. Come in there, and that's your sleeper channel invite to join the sleeper party on Get Right. Who would you say has the best NFL logo and helmet? Oh, we'll get to that later. Wilson.
Yeah, we got so
I'll
much
let
to
you know.
go over.
We got so
We're
much.
not.
We're gonna be here too long.
Yeah,
I can't answer those kind of questions right now, but we're down to conversate all the time. We
after.
we talk all the time, Wilson. That's why I can say that to you. I know we're good. Go get that Ridley and Kamara. So Anthem Man is saying go get that. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Ridley right now. I don't mind the Kamara over Jones. Again, it's more of a lateral move to me. Just making a move to make a move at that point.
Yeah,
And again, I
we
think
don't
I'd
know what's
rather
going
have
on with Ridley.
Sanders over Ridley. Yeah. That was Emmanuel Sanders? I think he was making that trade. No, that was the Tyreek Hill trade. Anyway, no Taysom means more TDs for Kamara, and really just needs to stop being unlucky. And you upgrade at both. Yeah. And what does Dustin always say? If my aunt had a mustache, she would be my uncle. Oh, I think it's an
Oh
upgrade at both
God.
positions. So there you go. What is our prediction for Chargers Ravens? We'll get to
Now we'll
that
get
when
into
we
that.
break down that game. Derek has parked his car in Vegas. Yes, he has, and he will. Raiders are about to fall apart as they are, obviously, with the John Gruden news over there. Don't necessarily want to get so much
Yeah,
into
that's a
that.
tough. Yeah.
Tough subject to talk about. But obviously, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Is all I'm going to say for that. There's going to be a lot more
Ugh.
that we're going to hear a lot of fallout,
Did you
a lot of people losing
did
their
you
jobs.
hear? No, apparently that's the weird thing. Apparently he was the only one that sent anything like that bad out of
650,000 emails.
658,000 emails.
He
Yeah,
wasn't even the one under investigation. It was Washington that's
I'm
under
aware.
investigation.
I
Somehow
know.
the Raiders coach
I don't
loses
know.
his job, but nobody
I don't
in
know.
in the actual
Weird.
organization loses their job. He was the
I'm telling
scapegoat.
you, man. He's
He
out of
he took the bullet.
600. I'm
These
telling
are
you, man.
like I said, that's why I'm not getting into this. I don't want to be in
It's
conspiracy
so
theories.
weird.
If you guys hear I'm not here on the show or something, that means something happened. They came and got us. I'm not talking about it. We're moving on. They're gonna get us in the night, man. You can't talk about that, man. That's a lot of money you're talking about in those
That's a
circles,
lot of
dude.
money.
That's a lot. That those are circles that I'm so far from that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not in my not in my wheelhouse there. So Haas says
Nothing.
Josh Allen, Gibson, Najee, Debo, Lamb, Higgins,
Don't
Andrews,
do a
and
damn
Tucker.
thing.
What can I do to improve my team?
Don't do a damn thing.
You're doing fine. I mean, maybe if you want to shop
Yeah.
Debo, I'd say shop Debo. I don't think he can maintain what he's doing now. So if you can
Yeah.
upgrade him again, he was probably in a 12 team, around 7 to 9 pick there, depending on if you reached or he fell. I personally got him in round 8, so he's definitely been playing above his draft position. So again, if you can maybe upgrade to an AJ Brown or somebody like that, you can. But again, they're kind of in similar situations right now as far as target share. I like Higgins. I like Andrews. Tucker's fine. I like your running backs. The only thing I would say is just make sure you have that depth, because a lot of things can change in just one quarter of football. And you can go from having a nice team to no team, just like that. So have your depth. The problem with the guy who has him in his Saints fan and he's also wants a lot more than the average person. Yeah, you have to be aware of that.
Yeah.
So again, that's about
Yeah.
knowing your league and stuff like that. Obviously, when we talk here, it's um, like in a vacuum,
We
so
don't
to
know
speak.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
I mean,
gotta know
I had
all
this.
those other nuances in your league.
I had the same thing when I wanted to trade for Jalen Hurts. The guy that I thought I could trade with loves Jalen Hurts, so I was like, I could flip him. Yeah, doesn't
Right,
mean it will.
right, and it could backfire, and that's why I told you don't
Who
go
the
do that
hell do you
trade.
sit here?
Tyreek Hill, Keenan Allen, or McLaurin, or Jamar Chase. I think those are all like top 10 guys that I have rated top 10
Oh my
this week.
god!
At wide receiver, so I'm just gonna go to the list here.
No, I
And that's
can't
how I'm
even
gonna
go to my
answer.
rankings for this.
All right, so I have Tyreek Hill at number 2, so we're starting Tyreek Hill.
Uh,
Then I have McLaurin at 6 against KC. So I'm gonna start McLaurin, and then I have Jamar Chase at 9 and Keenan Allen at 10. So really, it's a toss-up. I'd go Jamar Chase just because he's going against Detroit. The only thing you
but
have to
they
worry
have
about there is if it does get out of hand, maybe they just give it to Mixon and Evans, and maybe they just let them run it out.
maybe,
Baltimore should be more of a shootout
but
game,
he's so
so
good. He's so good for like a deep touchdown.
that's what I'm saying is like that's just lightning in a bottle. So again, if
I
I'm
don't know,
sitting
man.
one here, it depends, man. To me, Hill, McLaurin, and Chase are all like boom targets. So I would just say
Yeah,
maybe take out one of the booms for Allen, especially with Williams limited this week. I don't see how you can't get Keenan Allen in your lineups this week. That's a nice problem to have there. Just pick 3. I don't think
yeah,
you'll go wrong. I mean, you're probably talking maybe 5
yeah.
or 10 point difference. Just pick 3. Thinking of trying to trade Jacobs for Hollywood, is that fair or one-sided towards Hollywood, or does Jacobs being an RB make it viable? I know
I
even not liking Jacobs that much, to me, the running back always has more value than
yeah, you gotta
a
keep him.
wide receiver. So for me, if you're not getting a running back in return, you're giving up more in that case. So it would really just be in the eye of the beholder. If I had a Hollywood and someone's offering me Jacobs, if I absolutely needed a running back, I'd probably take that compared to where I drafted Hollywood. And again, just wide receiver so deep, I'd take the running back,
Yeah.
even if it's Jacobs at this point. So, Jerry, if you, I wish I had Hollywood, but if you're getting rid of Jacobs, if it's in one of our leagues, send him my way for a receiver. I have plenty of them. um, Jonathan says, I love you guys. Ever been in a 32-man league? And if so, do you like them? I personally have not. I know there's a
I've
couple
never
people
been.
here. Yeah, I know there's a
No.
couple people here in Get Right that have been. Shout out to Nick, NNY. I know he's in a 32-man league, and I'm sure Dim Boys will probably find himself in a 32-man league here soon. So
Yeah.
the guy started both Philly backs this week. He's hurting.
Oof.
Um, yeah, so you could. Oh yeah, I was the one who traded him, Gainwell, for AJ Dillon, but that was early on in the
Yeah.
year. Um, so yeah, that's tough. I know that team you're talking about, so you might be able to make that happen. I was looking at that too, Jerry. Good luck, man. Dustin's back. What's up, Dustin? He says, I'm here. I seen the bypass in your question. Seen them bypass your question. Yeah, I already told him. We'll get to
Yeah.
those
We'll
questions a
talk
little bit
later.
later. He said, if my grandma had wheels, she'd be on a bike. She'd be a bike. See, he always has those like nice little, what do you call them, idioms.
Idioms,
So
yeah.
he heard me say that. Shout out to Dustin. He said, oh my God, that game was too stressful, and double overtime and a 30-yard touchdown pass to move to 6-0. And now I can focus back on fantasy. So congratulations, Jonah. Got it done. Now you can sit back and enjoy this show. Do we drop Ayuk or Gainwell? Again, just depends on who
Mm,
you're picking up. So really, just let us know who you're trying to pick up.
well,
I'm not in favor of just dropping people to drop them. But if you need
yeah,
to like bring Bateman or somebody into IR, I would drop Ayuk at this point again, just because I'd keep the running back. Running backs are
yeah,
gold. That's always the if it's between two people and one's a running back, I'm usually keeping the running back, depending on the running back.
yeah. I like Gainwell. I'd rather drop him.
There it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need 40 from Mixon and Devontae to keep up with Tyreek. Yes, you will. I agree 100%.
Yeah,
Do you guys consider Devontae Adams
yeah,
untradeable? Absolutely.
I do too.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Who do I have ranked as wide receiver one? I'd
this
say
week.
this week I have Devontae, and rest of the season, I say Devontae as well. I mean,
Yeah,
I want to say Tyreek, but again, we've seen that Chiefs offense struggle for whatever reason. We know Aaron Rodgers is pumping Devontae Adams with targets there. He has no Kelsey or anyone like that to compete with him. So it's Devontae. He'll probably see 170, 180 targets this year.
yeah. I have him and then Diggs and then Cup. So
Yeah, I go Adams, Hill, Diggs, Cup. That's my four for this week. But
yeah, I have all those. I have Tyreek just under because of his injury. I had Cup above because he'll do fine against the Giants, and Diggs. I almost was tempted to do it, but then I know Adams is going to get more, more run. So
yeah, I should probably even put Diggs down. He hasn't really been producing, but he has
yeah,
that
that
potential to just
was,
pop off any game. So I can't
and
rank him
and
lower yet.
that's
Just
my
can't do it.
biggest problem with Diggs is you can't drop him below 10, but you can keep him. If you do, you're a little bit more, where he is, but it's so hard to do that. And
Yeah,
Tennessee, same thing. So, well, because you're facing Tennessee, I can't drop him. So,
exactly. Wilson says, "Do you like Ricky Seals Jones against the Chiefs this week? I feel he has more
yeah,
opportunities in this game with a lots of scoring.
I do.
Coming off an 8 target game last week. Obviously, we know no Logan Thomas. I picked him up at 1:34 p.m. Today for the league I was telling you guys about earlier, where I couldn't get Hurts. So he's my streamer for this week because I have somebody out. Somebody Goddard's out.
Ooh, this is a tough question.
What's up, Casey?
What's up, Casey?
Would you trade Ezekiel Elliott, Zach Moss, and Cooper Cup for Travis Kelsey and Aaron Jones? Yes, I would.
Yeah, you would.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to know who his tight
Travis
end is that you'd
Travis
want to.
Kelsey
I
is
know, I
untradeable.
know,
So if you can get Travis Kelsey, I'll take him. And that's all it's going to cost you.
but
You're
I'd
getting
rather I.
you'll find another Damian Williams or somebody like that to replace Zach Moss all
Well,
day. And Kelsey is going to outproduce Cooper Cup, so he's going to basically become your wide
but
receiver
Zach,
one on top of, and you're not even giving up who your current wide receiver one is now already. You're basically going to be running two wide receiver ones, and you still have an RB who's technically I have rated higher than Zeke in a PPR. I mean, come on,
well,
I'll take that all
you're
day.
getting rid of Cooper, Zeke, and Moss for that. So
That's what I'm saying.
I
Yeah, I'll
don't
take that all day,
no,
all day. I'll
I
take it.
wouldn't.
He won't,
I wouldn't
Casey.
even
I
touch it.
would. If you're telling me you have an opportunity to get Kelsey, I'll get him and figure everything else out later. You you
Nope.
you're not losing anything on your running back. You're basically a wash with Cooper
Consistency.
and Kelsey, but you gain that positional advantage. Yeah, you're losing a depth piece in Zach Moss, but people are ready to drop him in week 2. Now all of a sudden he's a hot commodity. He'll be dropped again in week 7 and kind of ride that roller coaster. Give me two guys that are going to be starters in your starting lineup all day, and you get the ultimate positional advantage in Travis Kelsey. That's a league winning
Don't do
trade.
it.
Make it happen.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Henry is my only untradeable. Everyone else follows suit. Trade me Henry. You'll get whoever you want. That's kind
Yeah.
of how I feel about Kelsey. How do you guys feel about Knox rest of the season? I just joined the Sleeper fam too. Thanks. What's up, man? Welcome to the Sleeper family. We appreciate that.
Enjoy.
I know Mike's big on Knox rest of the season. I think
I
he
am.
definitely has that potential. We've seen it. Again, the targets are a little down there. So we do like Schultz and those kind of
Yeah.
guys a little more. But definitely someone to keep an eye on and who you can get good value picking up off the waiver wire and could feel just comfortable starting him every week until he shows us otherwise. and then you just go back to streaming. Worst case, so not that bad of a investment that you'd have to make. I need to sit 2: Diggs, Jefferson, and Claypool, Emmanuel Sanders, Rondell Moore, or OBJ.
Your last
So
2.
sit 2. I agree.
Rondell Moore and OBJ.
Yep, agree. Don't know why I haven't asked yet, but Hollywood or Higgins. Ooh,
Hollywood.
I'd say Hollywood the way he's playing. If you need a boom play,
Yeah.
Higgins is still kind of coming
Higgins
off
is
that
safer
injury.
floor.
Still, I think he is a little safer floor in a PPR.
Yeah.
He didn't have that great of a game. Chase is kind of taken over there, but Higgins should still give you a nice floor every week. So I still really like Higgins. I have Higgins and Chase on a team.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
If I were to trade Lamar Jackson, who should I trade him for? Kevin, hit us up in that sleeper channel. I mean, you kind of want to keep him, but I'd have to know your team. Send us a screenshot, and we'll definitely dive into that team for you and give you our opinions on who we're looking for. Dustin, they're trying to work out a trade there, so
Yeah,
I'll
they're
let you
trying
guys
to.
work that out.
Yeah.
I have the same problem in my league. I'm over trading for Zach Moss, who someone has on his bench, but I won't ever use and won't trade. And that's what I'm saying. So
Don't
you know,
overtrade, but if you want someone like Zach Moss, and it's because he's a death piece, he's a solid RB2 every week. He will get you 10 points without thinking about it in half PPR, and he'll get you close to 12 every week in full PPR. I'm trying to get him in every league, in any league that I can that is, able to get him. But except for our listener league, because I know that Wilson will try everything to trade him away. But I like Zach Moss as a trade for person. It's just you're going to have to pay up for him. The offense is hot. You're going to have to wait until they cool down to be able to try to get him, at any point.
yeah, he can maybe be a piece if there's another main piece involved. That's the easiest way to get Moss. If Moss is the target of your trade, it's going to be a little hard. Again, because you are going to have to overpay, and at that point, it's usually not worth it. So, yeah.
Yeah, they're working
I
out
want
their
to give you.
trade.
Okay, that's all them. All right, sorry guys. The season is crazy when Dawson knocks the top 5 tight end.
It
And he
is.
plays for the Bills. Exactly.
I've been holding on. I've been holding on to Knox for the last 3 years. He's going to be something.
Yeah. No, you said JK, but nah, Ant is right. Kelsey is untradeable too. Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed. And Hill is close to being untradeable. Agreed.
Yep.
Who would you flex this weekend? Chuba Hubbard
Oof.
or Marvin Jones? Give me Hubbard, PPR and non. I'm just not feeling comfortable with Marvin Jones. We should be able to
me
start.
neither.
If it was week 1 or week 2, I'd say start Jones. At this point, I got to see a little more. Because especially with Chark going down, he should be peppered with targets. He's doing worse without Chark there. So,
No, I agree. I mean, it's so hard to pick this particular question. Yeah, I'm gonna go Chuba.
Chuba. All right.
Yeah.
If you had to drop one, Claypool or Julio,
Ooh.
drop Julio.
Yeah, you're dropping Julio.
With that Juju injury, we've seen what Claypool has done this year already, even with Big Ben being terrible. We haven't seen it from Julio Jones yet. We just have a whole lot of hurt going on, and we haven't seen it yet. So
it's tough.
Will
That
we
question's
ever
tough
see it?
because, Claypool has always been a boomer bust guy. That's the problem with his particular situation. But now that he can be that role of the wide receiver too, he could be more viable. Julio has just a horrible injury history the last few years. He's getting older. I would try to maybe I want to go Julio Jones here, but I just don't feel comfortable saying it. I'd rather go Claypool.
Say it with your chest, Mike. Say it with your chest. Say it with your chest.
Claypool.
There it is. Oh, what? Oh, okay.
I'm going Claypool.
Well, I'm saying Julio.
I'm gonna go.
So we're split there. Let us know in the chat who you guys are dropping there, Claypool or Jones, if you're faced with that decision. Kevin, you can trade them, package both. People are hurting on buys. So there you go. Schultz is greater than Knox. Yep, I agree.
And I'm not disagreeing with you, Dusk, even though he's going to keep making that argument because we made that trade. But I don't blame him. Schultz is the safer play because he'll get more targets.
but Knox might win you a week from that position.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Dropped it to you. Who would have had more? There it is. Shoulda, coulda,
I
woulda.
have both.
Shoulda,
I
coulda,
have
woulda.
both on my team. Oh man, I have both. I have Dalton Schultz. I have Schultz. I have Knox. I have Waller. I have Austin Hooper, Evan Ingram. I have all the top guys that you can think of. I know Hooper
The
and
top
Evan.
terrible tight ends. Yeah.
Oh,
Jonathan says,
shut up.
"Is it better to have a boomer bust or a high floor, low ceiling guy in your flex spot?"
High
So
floor.
do you want to answer that? Okay, so you're saying high floor. To
Mhm.
me, it really depends on the rest of your makeup as your team. You want to have a nice, kind of diversified portfolio, as I like to call it, built into your lineup. So if you have other guys at other positions that are more, you know, not boomer bust type guys, and you need somebody that could potentially, win you a week, then that flex spot is a great place to, put a boomer bust, type player. But if you have some question marks with your starters already, and you kind of just need that, good floor, type play in that flex spot, then that's when you want to play your flex, a low floor guy there in your flex. So it really depends on the makeup of your team, and that's getting next level when you start, getting into these fantasy things. I'm sure there's people here at all different levels of playing this game, and that's why we're all here. Is to try to just keep getting better and better and try to get that edge. So these are the things that you start to take a look at when you're constructing your teams and when you're building your lineups, every Sunday on, who to play. Um, you don't want too much boom, without floor in your lineup, or else you can completely bomb. Me personally, I'm a boomer bust guy. So my thing is go big or go home. I'd rather I'd rather win big and put points on the board than, lose by one or something. So
I'm the opposite. I rather have
I'd
the
rather lose by
I
100 than lose by one.
yeah, I get that.
All right. So Mossman, right? Yes, he is. Where would you rank Taylor and Najee running back wise rest of season? So
Ooh, I like Taylor more. I like Najee, but I like Taylor more.
yeah, just because he has the better line, they play indoors for the rest of
Yeah.
the year. Their schedule's crazy. I think they play only 2 outdoor games in the last like 8 weeks of the season. If you
Oh,
take a look at
then
that,
yeah. I
so I
didn't even
really
know
like
that.
Taylor. He's one of this next level, man. I told you there's different levels here.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I could be wrong, but from what I remember, I do have Taylor in a league, and he's one of my guys that I like to target in the second half of the year. Um, if you have an opportunity, but like I said, most people he use their RB1, and you can't get an RB1 right now that's healthy. If he's healthy, you're not trading for him right now because no one's going to get off him unless you're offering him more than what I'm willing to give. So anyway, um, what do you think? Anything else to add on that, Taylor, Najee?
No,
You good on that? All right.
Taylor.
If you ever want to check over the season, see what your chest. Oh, there we go. Where else do we had here? He knows where that's from. Um, Good old Kevin Hart reference there. Guys, if I had to leave a slot blank this week,
Defense.
which spot empty? Defense, kicker, or tight end can drop any beat
Defense.
crazy by week 7. So, yeah, probably defense.
Kicker and tight end
Or
will
a
get you
kicker.
points. Defense
Yeah,
won't.
just really depending. Yeah, the defensive position really varies. If
You'll lose points. You're gonna just get 0 at the end
I
of
was
the day.
gonna say, yeah, it's usually one of the positions you can get a negative at, depending on what happens in the game. If you're not getting any sacks or turnovers, and a lot of
Yeah.
points are scored, you can go negative. I'm usually not for that. Usually, I like to make sure people play. You have to have somebody in the lineup. It's part of roster management. It's part of the game. So it kind of forces people to make 2-for-1 trades or to put somebody out on the wire to make people bid over. It's part of roster management. As a commissioner, I'd like to make sure you're setting a viable lineup every week. I agree with Mike too, high floor. So Dustin saying high floor in regards to that flex position. Just downloaded a sleeper app. How do I get about sending you my roster? Kevin,
Yeah.
I'm at
Look for roster.
Rastafaran. Yeah,
Yep.
Rastafaran, or it just says create a new thread. You could just create a new thread, make a title of it, like rate my team. And then
And just
once it's
you
there,
can
you can go
screenshot it.
into the thread. Yeah, take a screenshot. You can actually upload. There's a little plus sign. You can upload a photo from there, or you can just type the guys out who you have, and we'll do that there. So I appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Awesome for downloading Sleeper. welcome to the community, man. This is awesome.
We
So we'll
also
keep
give
on
really good injury updates from
injury
this guy.
updates, a lot of other perks over there that you'll see that you get there. Make sure you turn those notifications on. If it gets a little too crazy, you can turn them off or snooze them for 8 hours or so while you're at work or while you're sleeping. So just a heads up on that. It does get crazy there.
Yeah, it does.
J Media, whoever averages less points are all different. Depends on who you have. I usually do defense or kicker. But if your tight end is projected for 4, then it should be him. And I agree.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
there is, if you're not running a high end tight end at all, that could be interchangeable for the defense. But like you said, I don't like that risk of going negative.
Yeah,
um,
well, you're gonna get you start with 10, but you end up going down all the
yeah.
way to like
Let us
4 or
let us know who you have on your bench, man. I'm sure there's somebody, maybe you're just, got a little too googly eyes over. There's probably
yeah,
somebody there you can drop. You want to get as many
or
points as you can every week, man. Those points are
yeah.
sometimes big for the tiebreakers. So, it is what it is. I own Knox in 90% of my leagues, and the other 10% is taken by Mike. Haha, classic move by classic Mike.
Yes,
I own
sir.
Knox for years, and he's burned me out. So he's on kind of Dustin's untouchables, and Mike and Wilson don't sleep,
Oh
proven
no,
by the
he ain't
noters.
an
Yeah, so
untouchable. I traded him.
they're all over him. What's up, Jodeci? Welcome to the channel,
What up,
man. I don't
Jodeci?
think I've seen you before here, and if we have, I apologize. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We'll get to your question here. Chenault, Waddle, Bateman, drop one of those for Humphreys.
I wouldn't drop any of them for Humphreys.
If you wanted to, really, if you were absolutely dead
Mm,
set on it, I would say Chenault. At this
yeah,
point, just because I think that's the worst quarterback throwing to them at this point. I'm not even saying,
yeah,
T Law is terrible or anything. It's just at this point, he's just not quite developed yet. He's not putting up, 303 touchdowns every
I agree.
game. Um, these other guys can. We've seen Waddle get 12 targets in a game right now.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah. So and I want to see what Bateman does. That unknown to me makes me keep him.
Yeah,
Myers or Marvin Jones, rest of season. I'd
such a
probably
tough
say
question.
I'd say
I'm gonna say
Myers.
Myers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say Myers rest of season there. Dustin agrees with us. For those of you guys who don't know, Dustin is part of the Get Right crew. He'll answer your questions in the chat because we're usually behind in there. And he's also going to give his 2 cents. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for us as well. Definitely helps us out. So we have Kevin here saying, I have Jarvis Landry, Goddard, and Mike Thomas. Should in the IR, in the IR, which 3 should I drop? Melvin, Renfro, Clear. Okay, so basically he has 3 guys in an IR spot, and he needs to drop somebody to
Yeah,
move one of
drop
those
one to give
guys
him, man.
into his lineup. Um,
Melvin
I'm probably saying
or Renfro, but I
Renfro.
don't want to get rid.
So
I don't want to get rid of Renfro though. If it's PPR, I don't want to get rid of Renfro. So if it's non PPR, I'd go Melvin. If it's PPR, no, I'm
try
going
to
Melvin.
trade
I'm
if you can. Try
no,
to trade, even if you have to give something away.
yeah,
Do a
try to trade
2-for-1
it away.
trade.
Yeah,
Even if it's kind of a similar tier, just get something out of it. Like maybe if you can package Melvin and Renfro to the Javante Williams owner. So then that guy owns both Javante and Melvin, and he's getting Renfro. Maybe you could do something like that and get, some bench piece that he has that you'd be comfortable with. Um, I doubt you can get like an Antonio Brown or somebody like that at this point, but maybe you can get a Michael Pittman for Renfro and Melvin Gordon, something like that. Just to you know, free up that spot and bring who you want in. Um, that's my 2 cents on that. Or if anything, try to trade Herbert to the Demont owner
yeah.
and open up the spot that way because that's only a couple week, replacement. Or if you can again package Melvin Gordon and Herbert, to somebody for one running back, maybe like a Chase Edmonds or somebody like that. Maybe you can do that. So I hate to just drop people for no reason.
Yeah, me too.
I'd always prefer to overpay on a trade and get some value out of it than just
Yeah,
drop
I
it.
agree.
At least control who's getting that person because sometimes there's teams that are hurting so bad. If you just give them a free player, I'd rather trade with somebody else that has a valuable piece that I want versus just giving somebody an easy out by just magically putting this guy on the waiver wire just because I have to get somebody in my IR spot when they're not even
And
using their IR spots.
I think Renfro has a lot of trade value. So
Yeah. And Dustin's saying the same thing. He's saying trade
yeah,
first
trade.
before just dropping. So yeah, when the time comes, and especially if you don't have to do it now, which I don't think any of those guys you need to bring off the IR right now. I would definitely try to work out a trade, prior to that. Brooks is saying, is Jarvis Landry startable over Alex Collins, Damian Harris, or AJ Dillon? This week, coming off his
Not
injury, if
this
he
week,
is
no.
playing, I don't think he is playing. I'd want to see it first.
I
Again,
think
it's not
next
a
week.
high volume offense, but yeah, I'd sit him this week. I'd
Well,
rather play
he's
all
not
those
coming
guys.
back. He's definitely not coming back this week. So he's going against the Broncos next week. I'm still going with. I'm still going. Oh, he's
Like
facing
maybe
Alex
Dillon,
Collins. Faces a Saint.
just
No, I
because the
don't.
other two
No,
guys are starting. So, I mean, I would start Landry over Dillon next week. If it's a flex
I would
spot,
start
but
Landry over Dillon next week. Yeah,
I
but
would
not. I
start
don't know
over
about. I
Collins
don't
and
know
Aaron.
about
And
Collins though.
I'd have to see
I
who they're
like
playing next
Collins.
week and all that.
They're
Again,
playing the
we're
Saints.
talking. Yeah, I don't think I would do that. I'll dive into that more
No,
next
not
week. But
Saints
yeah,
after a bye. Yeah.
no.
What's the question? I didn't see it.
Oh wait, should I try to sell Goddard high now that Ertz is gone? I have Schultz too.
No, you could
Um,
probably flex both at one point if you need to.
Running 13 personnel. I
I
don't
don't
know.
mind running that if I have to. No, I'd run 12 personnel, not
Or 12
13.
personnel. Yeah. Should I got a little excited. I went with the baker's dozen there. Should I
Hey, I've
should
run 13. It's not it sometimes can work. You just got to know when to do it.
when to do it?
I wouldn't get rid of if you're going to sell Goddard high and you can get something for it, go for it. Schultz is not a bad option to, keep a hold, a hand of. Yeah, if you can sell him high,
I
it's based on
personally
what you
would
can sell
want
him for.
Goddard over Schultz rest of
No,
season,
I
just
like
in my
Schultz.
opinion. And again, just my opinion. Just
Better
because again,
quarterback.
I think Dallas has a better running game and they play the time of possession. Again, he has probably a higher touchdown upside, but I think we'll see Goddard will get a good target share. I could see him getting, between 6 and 8 targets a game.
But you
With Ertz
gotta
gone.
you got to see, even with them running the ball as much as they have, Goddard's been averaging, or Schultz has been averaging 6 to 8 targets a game. I'm not going to get rid of something like that when Goddard hasn't even gotten close to that. And I understand that Ertz Ertz ended up going to Arizona. Jalen Hurts doesn't throw the ball, and he's not good at throwing the ball. I'd rather have a more accurate quarterback with Dak Prescott over someone like Jalen Hurts. So for me, if you can sell Goddard, go for it, and you'll be fine with Schultz. It's just based on what you can get. If you're going to get something like an RB2 with an RB2 with a high ceiling, go for it.
Yeah. Jimmy is here saying he can't drop his bench because they are his starters.
Yeah, I saw that.
But on bye week 7, 10-team PPR bench, Daryl Williams,
Yeah,
Deontay,
I
Zeke,
have the
Diggs,
same problem.
J. Rob, and Herbert equals a full bench. Yeah, and
Yeah,
you're not dropping any of
I
those
can't.
guys.
I
Um,
can't drop anyone on my team this week because if I do, I won't have a team next week.
yeah. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
tough, dude. You might have to run without a defense. If your league allows it, then yeah, that's what you do. If not, you're gonna have to try to trade out of it. Good luck. It's not a bad problem to have though. Sorry for the misspelling. Was driving and just to talk to it. Oh, he did like the text to talk. But it
Yeah,
does that. It's all
I
good,
do that
Kevin.
too.
No worries, man. We picked it up. We figured it out. But we appreciate you. Make sure you're driving safe though. But we appreciate you listening to us on your drive, man. Hopefully
Yeah, for
we're
sure.
helping you out here and you're having some fun here. So best QB to stream this week: Danny Dimes, Darnold, T. Law,
Oof.
Heineke, or Teddy, and his 6-point per passing touchdown lead. I'll let you go
Oof.
first on this one.
That's a good question. I'm gonna narrow down my answer. I don't think I'm gonna do Danny against the Rams. I'm not gonna do Heineke against the Chiefs. I'm between Darnold, Law, and Teddy. If I want to go with the matchup, um, I mean, I don't really like Ty Law, or I don't like Trevor Lawrence in this particular scenario. So maybe it would be narrowed down to Darnold and Teddy. And I think Darnold's been playing better, and I think he can put up points against Minnesota. They're 2-3. Teddy going against the Raiders. I'm gonna stick with Sam Darnold, my sleeper of the year.
Nice. As you work through that, I was just looking at my rankings here, and I think based on that, that's what I have.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of funny though because I think I have all these guys literally back to back to back to back.
yeah, me too.
Um, Let me see. I literally have Sam Darnold 14, Heineke at 15, T. Law at 16, and Teddy Bridgewater at 17. I have Danny Dimes. Where do I have him?
I would have him at like 20 or something like
Yeah, I
that.
have him down at
Yeah.
25, so he's actually my
Yeah.
worst start this week, and then I think that's everybody else, right? So he's the only one that wasn't
Yeah.
there in that run. So Sam Darnold starts that run for me. So that's who I go with there. But
Yeah.
literally
I have Daniels
all
at
in a
25.
run. Literally 15 through what was that, 19? Or
Yeah.
15, 14
I've
through
I've
17 are all literally those guys. I have them all projected
I've
basically the
Darnold
same.
at 13, Heineke at 14, Trevor Lawrence at 15. Yeah,
That's
I'm sticking with
hilarious.
Sam Darnold. Yeah.
There it is. So we're about the same on that. So Jody
Yeah.
says, "Thanks, guys. Just hit the bell. We appreciate that. Hitting the
Hey,
alert.
for you, hold
Make
on.
make sure you hit
Hold
that
on.
subscribe button as well too. On top of the bell. Sometimes people get tricked out with that, so we appreciate that with the thank you up there, as you can see.
Thanks, man.
Jody C says, I got Rogers, Dalvin Cook, Aaron Jones, DJ, uh, Deontay Schultz, and Woods. I'm 1-4, unfortunately, trading away players like Adams and Hill to average out the team. Is a comeback possible? Um,
Yeah,
it definitely is. It looks like you're evened out
it's gonna
now.
take some time.
But yeah, you just gotta take it 1 week at a time, man. So just keep joining us here. We'll help you get through those start sits, man, and hopefully you can get back in there. It's been a weird week, man.
Hey,
It's been a
man,
weird
I'm
year
one and
so
four
far.
too.
Yeah, I have a couple leagues where I'm 1-4 as well.
Yeah, we're all in that
But
spot.
mostly sitting at that 3-2 and 2-3 mark. I think Dustin has a league where literally half the league is 3-2, the other half is two
Oh
and
yeah,
three.
we just saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he sent us a screenshot of that. So it's been a weird year. So it'll even itself out. We're almost at that halfway mark though. So it's definitely time to buckle in and get our stuff right here for the second half of the season. So someone offered me Mike Williams and Montgomery, and I have to give up a Cup, and I have Aaron Jones and Robinson and Lockett. So he got offered Mike Williams and Montgomery, and he has to give up Cup and Aaron Jones and Robinson and Lockett. Or is
no,
he saying someone offered Mike Williams, Montgomery? I have to give
no,
up Cup. Oh,
he
just for
has
Cup
Aaron Jones.
only. He has Aaron Jones,
Yeah,
Robinson, and Lockett. I would probably
I'm
make
not
that
doing
trade.
it.
Me
No,
personally. I like it more in a half or non PPR more so than a PPR. And a PPR might kind of stay with Cup in a full
yeah,
PPR. But to me, this is the kind of thing that you can do to get your hands on a running back like Montgomery. He is that low in RB1, high in RB2. Mike Williams is up there as far as the top 10 producing wide receiver now. We all know what his injury history is though, so that can just go at any time. Starting this week. Um, but again, if I can turn one player into two, you're not dropping that far for the wide receiver, and you're gaining a running back, a good quality running back at that, a 20 touch guy that gets goal line carries. I'll take that trade.
I'm not.
I mean, I'd prefer a better wide receiver than Williams, but you know,
Yeah, I'm
if
not taking that.
if you really need a running back, like if you literally have no running backs right now, like if you had like Mostert and I don't know somebody else that went down basically for the year,
I'm not
J.K.
taking it.
Dobbins or Gus Edwards or something, you might have to do it. So Mike saying no.
Nope.
Thoughts on A Rob? Sit him,
You.
sit him for now. We'll
Yeah.
get into it when we talk about the Chicago game.
Oh,
If
we
it's
already did. We
oh,
just
we already
talked
did.
about
Oh
Chicago.
yeah,
Well, we talked about Chicago, but honestly, there's nothing you can do but bench him now. He's not worth playing until we see something from him. I do not like the offensive coordinator. I do not like the head coach. This head coach has talent. He reminds me so much of Adam Gase. Wilson, good night, brother. Thanks for the help today. I gotta, I really do appreciate all the help. But going back to A-Rob, I don't like the coach. I don't like the offense. I'm right now just gonna hold him because he's a talented player. But I'm not gonna touch him right now.
There it is.
Yeah,
Where we at here?
Melvin Gordon,
Lost my spot. Yeah, I thought so. Where is that? Hold on.
just under
Here we
Wilson.
go.
Yeah,
I scrolled up way too far. So Melvin Gordon and Renfro for Taylor.
take it. Take it now. Hit accept.
Wait, I mean I'm taking the JT side. So
Yeah,
I don't
he's
depending on if
Melvin
that's declined or
for
whatever.
Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, if he's the one getting
Oh, he was
Jonathan
because he
Taylor.
was okay, that goes back to this question up here,
Okay.
I believe.
If you're getting the JT side of that, because I remember he had Melvin Gordon, I'm going with the JT side for sure.
Definitely.
Not even flinching on that one. Go for it.
Definitely. J Media saying good looking out at Dustin Boswell. We appreciate that. Wish you could join us here, Dustin.
Yeah.
It's all good. Jack, what's up, Jack? Welcome back. Hey, how's it going? How do you guys feel about this trade? Jamar Chase and Jacoby Myers for Javonte Williams and CeeDee Lamb in a standard non-PPR league. So
Ooh.
Jamar Chase and
Um.
Jacoby Myers for Javonte Williams and CeeDee Lamb.
Well, the Javante side wins that out a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially because if you need a running back, I like that
Yeah.
side of it.
Well, for standard,
Um,
anything in standard, it's always the running back.
yeah, and you definitely want that running back side. Gives you the depth.
Yeah,
I like that Williams and CD side, but it's close. It's a nice trade. I don't think.
Yeah, it's a good trade. It's
Yeah, I
even.
don't think it's bad one way or the other. Pretty even trade. But I definitely would like
Yeah.
the Williams
Well,
side of that a little more.
if this was PPR, I would probably not. But if this was
Right.
if it since
I mean,
it's standard,
Javonte's being
I'm
worked in
fine with it.
the passing game. I think he had what, like 12 carries and like 3 or 4 catches last week.
Yeah,
So
but
the
that's even more
potential's
my
there.
point.
Yeah.
You're only worried about the yards in standard. You're not worried about all the other stuff.
Yeah. Touchdown upside. So the
Yep.
people in the doghouse are A-Rob, Robbie Anderson, and Brandon Ayuk. Agreed. I'm
Yeah,
sure
there's a
there's a
few
few,
other
few
guys
other
too.
names. Yeah, I was gonna say there's a few others we can get into there, but they definitely they're the bouncers. They're the one holding the ropes open, letting everybody
Yeah.
else in. I don't get it because A Rob has the talent to be top 10, and we've said he's been quarterback proof until then or until now. So I guess he's not truly quarterback proof anymore. But he does get 5 targets game, which is not nearly enough
Yeah.
for a man of that talent. So Jonah saying waivers just went through, and I was wondering if Madison would be worth targeting instead of Gaskin now that he's a free agent. Um,
No, you're not going to draft Gaskin
nah,
for Madison unless you're the Cook
yeah.
owner. If you're the
I
Cook
mean,
owner, I would maybe do it, but I really, in that case, you're kind of stunted. You're kind of sabotaging your team if you do that. I would not do that.
yeah. I mean, the only time I would do this, I would take Madison as my RB4 or RB5 over Gaskin, but I would
Yeah,
not take
not.
Madison as my RB3 over Gaskin.
Yeah, yeah, agreed.
So that's how I'm going to answer that one.
Yeah.
Jody C says, would you drop Rondell Moore for either Jamal or Melvin Gordon? I have Pollard,
Ooh.
Bolden, Dillon. So should I just keep Moore instead? Um,
Um.
I would drop him for Melvin Gordon
mm, yeah.
for right
Out
now,
of all, but
just
if you
because
had to
there's
pick,
more
yeah,
Rondell Moores on the waiver wire right now, whereas there's
yeah,
not any other Melvin Gordons, I would assume. But again, if these type of guys are on the waiver wire, it might be like a 10 team. So maybe Melvin Gordon doesn't have that much value in a team team as he would a 12.
yeah,
But I don't see anywhere right now where Melvin Gordon should be on the wire. So he should definitely be on your bench, even if
yeah,
you're not starting him. So Madison is the free agent. He has Gaskin. Then stay
yeah,
Gaskin if it's your RB3, but if it's your RB4 or 5 and you want to make the switch, then go ahead and do it because we've seen what Cook's potential is we've seen what Madison's potential is when Cook is out.
yeah,
And
for sure.
it's a huge trade bargain, if you do get
Oh
Madison to
wow.
trade him to the Cook owner. So
Well,
um
that's the problem. The Cook owner dropped him, so
Yeah.
That's
That might
tough.
yeah, I would try to see who else you have on that team. That's one of those things where maybe you drop a
Yeah.
defense instead right now. You drop a defense or a kicker and pick up Madison to then try to trade Madison back to the Cook owner. But if the Cook owner just dropped him, he doesn't have any value for him now. So again, that's a little
He's
tough.
a valuable handcuff.
Yeah, he's just a valuable handcuff because now you have an RB1 when and if Cook gets hurt again. So
Yep.
yeah, who else do you have on that roster? Maybe there's somebody else you can drop. I did the trade. He got Javante and CD with Clyde's injury. I needed a backup running back. Would you start Javante or Alex Collins this Sunday? Congratulations on the trade. Good luck to you with that. I think it was a good one. Um, who are we starting this week? Javante or Alex Collins? Who do you got, Mike?
Mm, I'm trying to look at
We have Seahawks.
my
We have Collins
lists.
going against Pittsburgh, and we have the Denver Broncos going against the
I'm gonna
Las
go
Vegas
Javante.
Raiders. Yeah, I'd take my chances with Javante this
Yeah.
week.
I like Alex
Um,
Collins, but I would yeah.
yeah, I want to see what it looks like with Gino behind the realm. They're probably just going to
Yeah, me
pack the
too.
box.
Yeah, that was my other thought.
You kind of
And
got
they're going
a
against the Steelers. I mean, Steelers are actually pretty
pretty
decent
good
against the
defense.
run. They're
Yeah,
fourth. Yeah. So
yeah. So again, I'd go Javante there. He's the younger, more up and coming running back anyway. Versus Alex Collins. If he was that guy, he'd already be that guy. He'd already be somewhere. Gaskin only had, and it's Dustin. I don't know if you're doing this to me on purpose, but it's Gaskin, as Tycoon would say, without the S. So I got you. I got you there.
good old Tycoon.
Tycoon. Gaskin only chances targets. Unfortunately, yeah, that's what we're saying. If he gets
Yeah.
another 10 targets, he'll be good, but I don't think he'll get more than 5 to 10 carries max. And that's why we're starting Herbert over him this week. Should I take Madison without having Cook if I'm not hurting for the last spot on my roster? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if he's like
Madison's
if
worth
you need a
rostering.
spot.
If you just have a
Yeah.
spot that nobody else is there, I definitely would take him and hold him. Again, we've seen what he did. Javante's my guy to have come later in the year. Yep, I got him in both of my home leagues, my not big money leagues, just $100 buy-in leagues. I have him in both those leagues as my RB3 or 4-ish in those leagues. Jamal and Melvin Gordon are the ones on waiver. Yeah, LOL, my fault. So Jamal and Melvin Gordon are the ones on the waiver.
Oh. Wait.
I kind of want to go back to that question now.
Yeah, I want to go back. No. Oh, no. Don't
I can't find it. I
yeah,
think I
it's
scrolled too far.
would he drop Randall Moore for Williams or Melvin Gordon? I wouldn't. Unless you need a running back. I mean, your running backs are Pollard, Bolden, and Dillon. Yeah, then maybe I would for Gordon. I'd do it for Gordon.
Definitely Gordon over Williams. Williams is fine to stay on the wire.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, me too.
but yeah, Gordon I think still has some value for a couple more weeks here. Again, especially going
Yeah.
through these bye weeks. And again, if Javante gets hurt, then he's the starting running back. So they feel
Yeah, we'll
comfortable
talk
giving
about
him
that in
below.
a minute.
Yeah. Would you offer Lamar Jackson and Metcalf for Tyreek and Aaron Rodgers while having Tom Brady as his QB1 in a 1 QB league? Lamar Jackson and Metcalf for Yeah, I think we talked about that earlier, Kevin. I think we said yes,
Yeah, we
absolutely.
did.
Get Tyreek for sure in that one. I think it was a little bit different, but yeah, if you can turn Lamar and Metcalf into Tyreek and Rodgers and still have Brady, you can take that downgrade in QB to get that upgrade in wide
No, that's
receiver.
the one that
And
we were
not
thinking above was Tyreek and Dak Prescott.
Oh, that's what it was. It was for Dak and
Yeah, it was
somebody
a
else. Huh?
different one. Yeah.
Very similar trade though. So interesting. People
Mhm.
down on Hill, I guess. Hill's moving. Maybe I should test out the league and see where other people are at.
Well, it's because he's injured. That's why everyone is kind of trying to see what to do.
Man, that guy's untradeable, injured or not. Start
Yeah,
Jacobs or Edmonds in an RB2 spot.
I want to go Edmonds, just better offense, but it looks like well, they're both fine.
You.
Yeah,
That's
I'm gonna go Edmond. Oh, it's Cleveland or Denver. They're both good. I'm gonna go with Edmonds.
Yeah, give me whoever's going against Denver versus Cleveland.
Yeah. Okay.
Who is
So
that?
that's Jacobs.
Ooh, maybe not. All right, so I have Jacobs at 16, and where do I have Edmonds? I have Edmonds at 19. So yeah, give me Denver over Cleveland. I'll take
Okay.
it. There it is. See? I like when my initial gut reaction matches my actual rankings. It's nice when that works out. And it's nice
Yeah.
when it's that
Well, I
close
haven't.
to just by 2 spots,
I
so that's
usually
not
do.
bad.
I update my rankings on like Saturday, so it's a little bit like they're a little skewed, but they're kind of around where I would put
I've
them
done 2
normally.
changes
So
as we've been talking in these last 2 hours and 15 minutes. I've done 2 updates already, so just based
I
on
gotta.
questions people are getting and how I'm answering, I'm like, "Actually, yeah,
Yeah,
I do need to change that." So,
yeah. There's a
um,
few things I gotta change too.
absolutely. Alright, so Jonah, I think we've only previewed 2 or 3 games at this point, so,
Two.
we'll eventually right when I think we get caught up with chats, then
No,
boom,
come on,
we
man.
get
You know
flooded
how
with
it
more,
goes.
so I love it though. So
Yeah, me
let's see.
too.
So we got Jonah here saying Josh Allen, Kamara, Chubb, who's out, Diggs, Jefferson, Knox, Emmanuel Sanders, Claypool, Wentz. At the super flex, he has Suckup, Tampa, Khalil Herbert, D Williams, who's out, Gaskin, OBJ, Rondell Moore, Higby, or Shorts. That's the team. So that's who he has. In
Oh, that's
reference
why.
to
Okay.
if he should be picking up Madison. Um, I would drop Higby for
Yeah,
Madison
Higby. Yeah, Higby's the only guy that you could
if you
probably
wanted
drop out
to.
of
I
that.
mean, you don't
Yeah,
have to. I'm not a
I.
real big fan of
I wouldn't.
holding 2 tight ends. I think Mike prefers to
Yeah.
have 2 tight ends
Well,
at all
I only
times.
prefer it. I prefer it up till week 7, 8 because then you can like I have Knox and I have Higby in a lot of leagues. I'm waiting until after week 7 to do something like that because I need them for the trade, for the bye week. So
They'll be there. There'll
yeah,
be
and
somebody to
and
stream.
no, see, he just said it below. He needs Higby for week 7. So that's the whole point I'm making. You have to keep these guys for those things. Like the bye weeks, I understand that sometimes they could be long, but sometimes holding that extra guy for that week is worth it.
Yeah, I guess because week 7 is here next week already. But if you've
Yeah,
been holding
it's a
these 2 tight
big
ends,
week.
people have again, Schultz was nobody 2 weeks ago, right? So
Yeah, but
I'm
he
just
is
saying,
now
I'm
though.
saying for somebody who's holding somebody now for week 10, things change so much, including you getting a potential starting RB1 as we've seen with Madison is my only thing with that. So again,
Yeah.
I'm not saying for this specific issue because again, you need it for next week being week 7, but if you're like holding off for somebody it's week 11 and you're holding 2 tight ends a month away, I don't think it's worth
Mhm.
that. That's when you want to look ahead to the week ahead. Make sure you have that guy 1 week prior to the week you need him to try to get a jump start again depending on your league and how competitive it is. But again, if I can have that, potential running back, I'll take him. And again, if you can try to trade him as well and then go pick Higby right back up. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so anyway, my little PSA. Who do I start in my super flex? Fields, Tua, or Jacobs?
Uh
I'll take my chances with
oh, and your
Fields this week.
Superflex Tua. I'll do Tua.
I think without Jair Alexander this week against Green Bay, I think uh
He's out?
pretty sure he's out.
No, he's not on my list unless he's on IR.
Is he back?
I have Kevin King out. Kevin King's the only one that I have out from the D-backs
Well,
unless
scratch that.
he is.
If Jair is back, then
Yeah.
yeah, you might have
I don't see anything about Jair. I'll look it up right now. Just give me 1 sec, I'll let you know.
okay.
But I don't see anything on my initial injury report about that. So, it
Yeah, so I have
he's
Fields at
probably playing.
19. I have Fields
Oh,
at
wait.
19. I have 2 at 29.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's my bad. I didn't realize he was on season ending. Okay. So then yeah, my bad. Yeah, you could probably go Fields. Hey man, one thing you got on me, it's all right.
That's already 2, Mike, if we're keeping track. That's already 2
Shh.
things. McCaffrey's
I didn't know he
ACL
was on
injury.
season ending. I
That's why
thought
they
he
call me
was just
they
out.
don't call me the roster reaper for no reason, Mike. At least when it
Why
comes
did
to
you
those
take him
injuries,
out? Did you take him
I
out?
know you're on top of it, but when it comes to injuries, I know my injuries, man. I know my injuries because I have to know them. I have to be on them.
No, me too, brother. That's why it's odd. I thought it because
I'm
it
one of the
said that
only
he
other
was only going
people
to be
with
out a
you
week.
that are getting your alerts before they come in our sleeper channel as well
Nah,
too.
well,
So we're on that same page, my friend.
Jair wasn't the one that was in there. That's
That's
why
not
I
my
was
only
curious.
source. I still have my other sources before you
No,
gave me
I
that
got it.
source.
Yeah.
That's
Wilson
why we're
hated
doing
that
this here.
source apparently.
Oh man. It is what it is. All right. So anyway, if we don't want to give it out, give it out.
No,
I don't want to keep dropping it here. So after week second, he's dropping Higbee. Yep, absolutely. Herbert or Matterson. I would stay with
Herbert.
Herbert at this point. Um, if you need somebody to start now, if you're wanting to stash for the long term, Madison. Jacobs, Brandon Cooks for Hollywood Brown, Miles Sanders. Who wins
Oof.
that trade? God,
That's
it's
a
like a trade
bad
that
trade.
involves all four people that I don't like.
Yeah.
I literally don't like any of
Honestly,
these people except
I
for
don't like
Hollywood
any of
Brown.
them. Yeah.
Like
So I guess the Hollywood
pre-draft,
side.
like preseason, I would have never touched any of these guys. Like maybe Sanders, I would have said.
Yeah.
Now that the season's here, I've switched from Sanders
I
to
don't like
Hollywood.
any of them.
I like Hollywood more than the
Yeah.
other. I would probably take the
I'll take the
God,
Hollywood side, but I don't like it.
I'd take the Jacobs and Cook side, I guess. I would take it.
Oh,
And
oh.
that's how much I don't like Miles Sanders right now.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Like I almost want the Hollywood side just because I think Hollywood's better than Cooks
Actually,
and
you know
Jacobs,
what?
but
Yeah, I'm gonna
he's
switch to
not.
Jacobs and no, because they're the only two that are healthy right now.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say he's
Yeah.
good. So anyway, so J Media says forget Chuba. What about Alex Collins or Marvin Jones for PPR? I'm gonna go. Damn, I'm gonna go.
That's
Alex
tough.
Collins still. I think, man.
I'm
Again,
gonna stick with
I could
Jones.
very well
Better
be
week.
wrong, but I gotta see it again. I need to see them connect again. The
I
offense
think
isn't putting up that many points.
I think this is the week.
I'll take the touch.
He
I'll just
always
take the guaranteed floor out of Collins. If you need a more boom,
Yeah.
if you need a more boom,
Yeah.
if you need a more boom play, then play Jones.
Yeah,
Again,
I
just
can agree
depending
with
on how
that.
your team is built there. So that's where I'm at there. How much time do you
I'll
guys
agree
have
with
on
that.
your hands? I was here like 5 or 6 hours ago. Uh, I know, man. It feels like it's a 5 hour show. We'll probably be here for about
Usually
another
is.
30 minutes. We're gonna try to get to the things that usually starts to die down about now as far as the live chat, and then we can get to our game previews, and then we'll put timestamps on them. So if you guys have to leave us now, feel free. Come back in the morning when you wake up, and you'll have all of our timestamps. We'll also be doing a Sunday morning show as well. So if you have any other questions, last minute start sits, we'll be here Sunday morning as well too. I'm starting, and thanks for being with us, man, for 5 or 6 hours, man. That's a testament. We appreciate
Yeah,
that.
man. We'll take it.
We could be doing something else with that 5 or 6 hours, man. But the fact that you spent it here in the Get Right community, man, we love it. We appreciate
We
it.
appreciate that.
Boss Man Fat says I'm starting Khalil Herbert over Melvin Gordon. Is that the play? I would be right
Yeah.
there with you, man. We're
Yep.
either going to be basking in the glory or sitting in the defeat, because I would be doing the same thing. Have had I had that decision. I actually have the decision of Javonte Williams or Herbert, and I'm starting Herbert. So I'm right there with you. Thoughts on Pittman Jr.? Should I pick him
Oh
up?
my God. Yes. If he's on the
Absolutely.
waivers, pick him up now.
Yeah, you're getting him over your Rondell Moore. You're
Why?
taking
Why is
him
he
over
not
your
there?
yeah. A lot of these waiver guys absolutely grab
Oh
him.
God.
Especially with T.Y. Hilton possibly coming back soon. That should even
No,
open things up
don't
maybe
even.
for a little more with Pittman. But
Don't.
again, we'll see. They say he's
We're
healthy.
gonna
I'll give him a
we're gonna
chance.
talk about that in a minute.
There we go. Cooks and Jacobs side from Dustin. That's what he's saying. Should I go for Alex Collins against Pittsburgh or keep Herbert versus Green Bay? I think we're sticking with Herbert in that
Herbert.
one.
Yeah.
Dustin said LOL to Boss Man, saying we've been on here talking forever. Jay Media says that we're doing great. Hey, we appreciate that, man. Thank you. As you can see up there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. That's awesome. And Dustin said he started, he took 2 naps, ate dinner, and we're still on. That's what we do, man. It's Friday, dude. We got nothing else better to do. I mean, I
Thanks.
do. I have the family and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
I
But of
don't.
course, I love talking football, man. This is what we love doing. Again, when it comes to fantasy football, man, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. This isn't work. to me. This is fun.
Yeah.
We'd
Yeah.
be doing this if it
Likewise.
wasn't being recorded anyway. So
Yeah.
we're just on camera doing what we do all day on
We
the
normally
text
do.
chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Neanderthal's in here sticking with us, man. He's been here since the
No
very
problem,
beginning.
brother.
So Jerry's sticking it out. Hopefully he got a nap in there and came back. Like I said, we're still here too. Dustin's giving the praise for us here. Do you guys do drafts with your sleeper channel looking for some new leagues and rules next
Exclusively.
year? As you can see right here, my friend, home of the Friday night mocks. That stands for mock drafts. Every Friday night during the off season, we do a mock draft. It's then graded by the four of us. We grade it. We give out our feedback. We get a ton of practice in, and then we even do a mock draft tournament where the winners got into a best ball league. They were winning cash prizes and things like that. So we are your off-season draft central location. In that sleeper
And
channel,
in
there's going to
season.
be a ton of invites for different leagues that you can get into
Oh yeah.
for being part of the community. So just welcome to Get Right, man. You're going to get all that you want and then some from this community, man. That's how I
Yes,
feel.
sir.
More than I even thought it was going to be. So really
Yeah.
appreciate. He said that's what we do, Jonathan. That's exactly what we do. So like I said, home of the Friday night mocks right here.
Oh.
Okay, who do I drop for Pittman?
Oh.
Myers, Higgins, Hollywood, Madison, or Marvin Jones?
See, that's a different question.
I drop Marvin Jones or Myers. I would drop Marvin Jones right now or Pittman in a heartbeat.
Oh my God.
And Dustin saying he came to the right place just to
Yes, he
squeeze that
did.
in.
Yeah, man. They always come out with new leagues all the time. There's
No,
somebody that's
don't
always
answer that
asking for a
question
fill.
yet. Answer this
I
question
know.
first. No buying yourself time. We got to get to these
I
game
can't because I
replays.
have all these guys and I like all of them.
Who do you like more? You got to get rid
I
of
like
one.
all of them.
I know you like Pittman more than one of these guys on here, so tell me which one you like more than. Not saying you hate the other guy, just who do
Damn.
you like more?
I have to agree with you with Marvin Jones.
There
I
it
hate
is.
saying that.
One
I
option.
love Marvin Jones.
There it is, man. And Jonathan saying sound like fun. I'm just looking for new leagues to spice it up. Like I said, you definitely came to the right spot. Who knows? There might be orphan teams to take over here in the middle of this year. We got a lot of people doing dynasty leagues,
There are a few
vampire
that did that.
leagues, guillotine leagues. We're gonna have a building blocks league going on with our friends over at Dynasty Pylon. It's gonna be a ton of stuff expanding your fantasy horizons. I've been introduced to new leagues. I've been a big, just redraft guy, and ever since we started this channel doing this here, it's opened my eyes, and I have a lot more interest to all the other
That's why. I
scoring
figured
settings
it.
and game types out there. So,
Well,
what'd you
I'm
figure
gonna
out
tell
in
you
the middle
this.
of my love? No naps needed hotline through your live calls. There it is.
Well,
There it
this
is.
is what I'm gonna say is to Jonathan's next thing is that you can at least upgrade from your 8 team to a 12 team and see the huge, huge difference of being in
Absolutely.
those types of leagues.
Absolutely. And again, that's part of the reason why, we created this channel. I wanted to, I love the home leagues we had. But again, I just wanted to expand, my horizon in fantasy football. I wanted to, have a bunch of people here that were into fantasy football just as much as me.
Just as
And like I
much.
said, once we started this, I figured there's people out here that are into it even way more than me. And I think they're crazy. Mike's one of them. And that's why he's here with us. So that's why we're here, man. So we really appreciate you coming here to get right. So yeah, choices for days. Those 8-man leagues are a little different, man. Sometimes your decisions aren't just made for you. You really have to manage those 8-man leagues to maximize your lineup. So we finally got caught up, man. So let's try to squeeze in a game preview here. We'll get a timestamp in here finally. So we've only previewed 2 games so far, but like I said, it usually dies down now. So we'll get into one of these previews here and then get back to the chat. So I think we're on Cincinnati Bengals at Detroit Lions. Bengals are favored by 3.5. We have a 46.5 point over under. So tell me your breakdown here, Mike. Cincinnati versus Detroit.
Right here we got Mixon being questionable. The whole thing with him all week was tough to gauge. He was limited on Wednesday. He didn't practice on Thursday. I guess he got a limited session in on Friday. But apparently Zach Taylor said that he's more than comfortable playing Mixon and he will get his full workload. if that's the case, I'm playing him and I'm feeling confident with it because that's a incredibly, juicy matchup for him. And if he's getting his, 18 to 20, touches or more, I'm more than happy with that particular, game. Right now, Hawkinson hasn't practiced Wednesday or Thursday. He was limited on Friday. He's questionable to come into this game. And also Jamal Williams. He's another guy that's also questionable coming in. So I'm loving Swift at this point. You're going to be starting up Swift without thinking twice. Mixon is fine. I guess my biggest question is for this particular thing is, Higgins or Chase for the rest of the season. How do you feel about that particular wide receiver core?
I honestly can't decide. I think I've
Right?
asked you a
Yeah,
million
you've had
times. I
that. Yeah.
literally have both of them because I drafted Higgins and then Chase fell to me like 2 rounds later, and I could not pass him up
Yeah.
where I got him, and so now I'm stuck
Gun to your
between
head.
choosing between the 2 of them. So right now, and even last week, I started Chase over Higgins for the first time,
Okay.
and it worked out for me. Um, so really, ultimately, right now, I'm trying to trade one of them off. I feel comfortable, honestly,
Yeah.
with both. Obviously, I'd prefer Chase, but I think other people prefer Chase as well. So I think he's the one that I have the trade value for. So I think I
Okay.
can get a better, other piece by trading away Chase and keeping Higgins as, a nice wide receiver too. So
Yeah. I mean, that's the hard part for me is that you're
how do
only
you
going to
feel
get
about
value for
Boyd?
Chase.
Yeah, and how do you feel about
I
Boyd
like Boyd though.
with Higgins back?
Boyd is well, no, Higgins will go back into his original role. See, that's the part that is annoying with this particular group of guys. Boyd is a very consistent possession receiver. He's that third
He's your
down guy
slot
that
guy.
can he's definitely the slot guy. And that's the thing is that they want Chase more in that slot. So when Boyd is there, you're putting Chase on the outside, you're putting Higgins on the outside, and then you're basically making it where you're throwing, Boyd underneath. I like Boyd. Like you can't get rid of Boyd. He is a solid floor guy, and that's why I like him. But for now, there's not much we can really do. I like Chase a little bit more than Higgins, but I think Higgins will end up, taking over at one point. The injury is what scares people. But thankfully it's a shoulder, it's not his legs, so it's more pain tolerance. We'll have to see.
Yeah. So quarterbacks in this game, any thoughts specifically on
No,
Joe Burrow or Jared Goff?
I'd I'd play Burrow for sure. Burrow's more for me like you can start him as a QB1, you can start him as a if you feel more comfortable in as QB2. I'd start him as a DFS as well. This is a great matchup against the Lions. They're down like every one of their cornerbacks, if I remember correctly. They're down all their starters at corner. So I'm completely fine with anybody in this game. I mean, let's see, they're down. Yeah, they're down like two or three corners. So
Yeah,
I'm good with
absolutely.
that.
All right. Well, that's cool, man. So we got a couple other questions coming in here. After that game breakdown, we'll get to a couple of these and we'll get on to the next breakdown. We had, speaking of Cincinnati, should I look for a package including Carr for Burrow? Who has more upside? Should I try Wentz and Carr? What do you guys think?
Honestly, if you can get Burrow, I like Burrow better than the rest of them. Like I don't mind Carr, but I like Burrow way better rest of season compared to Carr or Wentz. Wentz to me is Mr. Glass, and Carr is just
Love that reference,
he.
by the way.
Yeah, I'll make him Mr. Glass, and I'll make the other guy the guy from Split. I mean, that's the problem. Like I think Burrow is more like Bruce Willis in this whole analogy here. I mean, honestly, I like Burrow just better, and he's been doing well lately. He can only get better from there. Wentz I just don't like it.
Nice. There it is. Higgins and Chase and Boyd is so weird. They all can go for 20, or one can get 5 and the
Yeah,
other gets 30. And yeah,
yeah.
it
It's
is.
very hard to gauge.
They're kind of like the Dallas Cowboys light. They're they're kind of like a poor man's Dallas wide receiving core.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
who do I start? Devontae Booker or Chuba Hubbard?
What's up, Derek?
Probably gonna go. Yeah, what's up, Derek? I think he's been here before, but if not, Make sure you hit that subscribe button
I'm just
for
saying
us.
hi.
Yeah, and we're just saying hi also as well. But who do I start, Booker or Chuba?
Chuba.
What do you have this week?
Chuba.
Let me go to my rankings now, just because it's getting late and I don't even know who I got now. I felt like we've
I'm
done
just
so
going with
many.
the game. It's
I don't,
Panthers. I'd
I'm
rather
not.
go.
We're past that hour now. We hit the 12:30 mark, so I don't know what's coming
Oh,
out of
yeah.
my mouth. So I'm just going to refer to my actual ranking. So I have Chuba at 23, and I have Devontae Booker at 20. So they are close for me, but I do have Booker ahead. I think the Rams. I think that Rams defense is a little vulnerable on the ground, especially to a pass catching a little bit as well too. Again, it's more eye test. I'm sure the numbers may say a little different. I know you're more the defensive stats guy, but just from what I've been watching the Rams, they've actually been gashed a little more than I thought
Yeah,
they
they
would be
have. I'm
on
looking
the
at
ground.
their numbers.
So am I
Yeah.
right? Oh, so even the numbers even back up what I'm saying too, even?
Yeah, I might switch to Booker now that I looked at it.
Let's go, baby. Change his mind again.
Well,
Let's
for
go.
this one, yeah.
I'm just messing with you.
No, Panthers are good against the run. So
Yeah. No, exactly. But obviously, Rams have that man Aaron Donald. So if they don't do anything with him, he's going to cause havoc. But if they
well,
can,
Aaron Donald got hurt in practice.
oh, did he?
But
I didn't even know
yeah.
that. Look at you on top of me on that one.
Haha.
See, my sources think I wasn't aware of that. It's good to know.
Yes, sir.
Maybe I will fire up Booker in a couple of leagues. So we got a Debo for any of the two Chargers wide receivers. So Debo versus Allen. If you had that trade offer, are you taking either of those two guys? I prefer Allen over Williams.
Yeah.
Would you trade
Are you
either one?
Well, I'll put it to you this way: more than likely, it's going to be Williams for Debo. And if you're doing that, would you want Williams over Debo?
Me, no.
I would.
Actually,
Better
I
QB.
might. Yeah, I mean, I might. Actually, I might.
Well, that's why he's asking for that trade, because it's the better QB. I'm sorry. Like,
I would
I don't
prefer
mind Jimmy
Allen.
Garoppolo, but
I would prefer Allen, unless we're seeing a changing of the guard with Mike
oh
Williams.
no, for
But
sure.
I think I go Allen, Debo, Williams is my ranking of those three. So do with that what you will.
No,
How much
Allen,
fantasy value
Williams,
does
Debo.
Boyd have with that said, Mike? And Jerry and I had a conversation about this offline already, so I'm sure he wants to hear your side of it.
He's a high end not RB, high end wide receiver 3 that has a decent floor.
For Boyd,
Huh?
we're talking the third guy in this offense. You're saying is a high end wide receiver 3 potential, or you're saying that's where he's ranked right now?
That's where I have him. Like, he's pretty much in the 30s, and he sits there. I mean, what do I have him? What do I have him at this week?
Well, I have him as a low end wide receiver 3. That's why I'm saying that, because I have him ranked at 34 this week.
I view him more as a high end.
I have him right in between Myers and Jalen Waddle, ahead of OBJ, ahead of Chenault, ahead of Riggs, ahead of Mooney, ahead of Beasley, ahead of Rondell Moore, Robbie Anderson, and guys of that man.
I mean, I got to tweak a few things, but I have him at a higher than Myers, Hardman, Jones, Chenault, Beckham, and Waddle and Tony.
Maybe I can move him up ahead of Robinson and Marvin Jones. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I do need to move Marvin Jones down a little bit more.
Yeah,
actually,
I mean, I moved
as we
him.
Speak.
Well, I would probably switch it around a little bit more. Like, I would probably have Boyd like a mid-range 3 this week, but honestly, he's not a bad option. If you're talking about this week, then I'm fine. I'm actually a little higher on him than most. But if it's for rest of the season, I see him more as a mid-range wide receiver 3, and he has potential to be like low end or wide receiver 2 on some weeks, and it's based on the matchup and who's in and out.
Yeah, I think it's tougher to get there with Higgins back in the rotation. But if one of those 3 guys go down, you can fire those 2 guys up.
Oh, he's crazy. Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah,
if any one of those 3 are out,
he's like a handcuff to a wide receiver.
Right, if you can get to one, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Jedi Mind Trick said Chubb is out. I picked up Booker hoping he balls out. I think a lot of us
everyone
are hoping,
does.
Yeah, hoping he balls out. I don't think he's necessarily going to ball out. I think
he should.
Maybe he can get 60 and a touchdown. I'd be happy with that. No one is like Dallas. When I said since he's like Dallas light, poor man's Dallas, he said no one's like that. Also, thoughts on picking up Ertz now that
Do it.
he's in Arizona. Scroll
Do
back. Check back. We talked a lot about that already, but we said yes, absolutely, he's worth a pickup for sure. Higgins just became available in my league. Actually, thinking of dropping OBJ for him. Do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Do that now. Cincy defense is auto pretty decent. They're okay.
Yeah, it's a good defense for this week. Yeah.
Yeah, they're okay. And he's just correcting Higgins, but I knew what you said, my friend.
Yeah.
All right, so we're up to date on the chat. So let's squeeze in another game here if we will. We have timestamp it right now. Cincinnati. Oh no, we already did that one. Try it again. We'll re-roll it. Houston Texans at Indianapolis Colts. We have the Colts favored by 10, so I'm sure we'll get through this quick. We mentioned it earlier, only a 43.5-point over-under. Huge spread. Tell us about this game quickly. Not too
Yeah,
much
no
to say
problem. I
here,
mean,
right?
honestly, like we said before, it's a huge spread. It's a rookie verse. It's Davis Mills against the Colts. T.Y. Hilton might return, but I doubt it. He said to a reporter, just because I'm practicing doesn't mean I'm playing. So don't he practiced this week. Don't think too much about it. Pittman is the guy. They see the potential. Jonathan Taylor is a must start, especially this week against the Texans. They're really bad. So just you got to play them, and they're going to just run and run and run. They're trying to, Marlon Mack will lead into it, but very little. You can't really start anybody on the Houston Texans other than Cooks, and I don't even feel confident doing that unless you absolutely have to. Who on Houston would you even play other than Cooks?
I mean, you got your guy here, Davis Mills, who went 21 for 29 for 312
Yeah.
yards and 3 touchdowns last week.
So you're going to play Wentz or Mills?
And that's the decision that some people are in.
I know. I'm asking, which one are you doing?
If I had to choose the two, I would probably take Wentz at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I
Against the
like
Houston
Wentz more.
Texans defense versus playing Mills against that pretty nice Indy defense. Do keep in mind, though, that a lot of the Indy secondary is hurt.
Yeah, they're hurt. Yeah.
So
hurt.
again, that could be a sneaky opportunity for Cooks to go off this week. If all
I'm
those
definitely.
injuries are there.
If I'm picking the spread, I'm picking the underdog here. But
No pun intended. Promo code get right.
Yeah.
Had to
But
get
no,
that in there.
I'm going.
Yeah, but
No,
simple
I get
game
it.
here. Yeah, no, simple game here
Yeah.
as far as quarterbacks. You're probably starting Wentz if you have to as a QB2, QB3. Definitely not in QB1 leagues. Neither one of these guys.
No.
Like you said, running backs, you're firing up JT. What about
Yep.
Naeem Hines? How do you feel about him?
I'm not feeling as comfortable as I used to. Marlon Mack is more the number 2 there, and if they're up in games, they're sticking with Taylor and Mack. I play Hines more with like unfavorable matchups because he tends to get that dink and dunk, and so I don't like him. I don't like him as much this week.
There it is.
Not until Mack's gone.
There you go. Yeah, there are some rumblings that he could possibly be traded. So they might be working him into that backfield a little more just to kind of showcase him a little bit.
Oh.
I'm not going to give him too much work because, of course, they don't want him to get hurt. So
can I correct you real quick? So for the Colts, Xavier Rhodes and Rock Singh, the two, like their 2 top corners, they were full participants in practice. Rhodes is questionable. He's just going through concussion protocol. So there's a high chance that, I know Rock will be there, and it looks like their first round draft pick, Pay is going to be there. The only guy they're missing that is, anything viable is Ricardo Blankenship. So, and they ended up picking up Badgley, I think. So
good stuff. Yeah, no, good stuff. All right, well then, sit Cooks like we thought. Maybe if you need to. All right, so we'll sneak in. Oh, I guess we let me check the chat. I was gonna try to sneak.
Yeah, Tycoon's in the house.
Let's sneak one more in though. Let's go. Timestamp it right now. LA Rams at New York Giants. Rams are favored by 8.5 with a 48.5-point over under in this one. Who we starting? Who we sitting here? Rams at New York Giants.
Well, we're lucky that we got the news today that Daniel Jones is clear. He'll be in. Shepard, we found out, is also going to be playing. We found out that Tony is questionable with an ankle. Slayton was limited as well, but he is still listed as questionable. So Giants are getting a lot of their, big guys back. We do know that Saquon Barkley's out. We already know that. So he's not going to be in this game. So Devontae Booker is the starter. He'll be the guy. And as we just talked about before, the Rams have been beatable, against the run so far. So maybe they kind of push that a little bit. Um, you know, it's a really tough situation. I think it's more, my biggest question for this particular game is more on the Giants side with Shepard coming back. And we kind of answered this, talked about this question before about, Shepard going against Ramsey or something like that. That's probably one of the hardest questions. I can't even answer that. I think it's hard to know how they're going to cover him. The Rams did lose one of their top corners, so I don't know if they changed their coverages a little bit. But in this particular scenario, it's, you're asking questions like, do you start Shepard or, T. Higgins or Jacoby Myers or Emmanuel Sanders or Adam Thielen or, something like that. So, if you had a choice between those guys, who are you picking?
So if it's Shepard or Higgins, I'm starting Higgins. If it's Shepard or Myers, I'm gonna go with Shepard.
Shepard.
Shepard or Sanders, I'm gonna go Sanders. And then I'm gonna go Thielen over Shepard as well there. So
Okay.
that's
Are
how
you
it is.
playing? Are
Definitely
you
not
playing Jones
playing.
in 2B?
I'm not in 2 QB. Yeah, you probably could. You probably
Yeah, I
have
have
to.
to.
Just that's just the nature of Superflex or 2 QB leagues. But in a 12 team 1 QB league, I'm probably trying to find another option than Daniel
Yeah,
Jones, unless you need to. Again,
I have to.
but with the bye weeks that we have going on, maybe. But I don't think there was too many. I mean, most people didn't have Winston. Winston. Who else is on bye week this week?
Oh, Zach
Niners.
Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson and somebody else. So it wasn't high end guys that are on a bye this week at the quarterback position. So um yeah, so that's where I'm at there.
Yeah,
Obviously the biggest
you're playing
question
all
here
the
is the whole
receivers.
Devontae Booker side of it. Do you play him? Do you not play him? Again, a lot of the times we're kind of forced in this position, or you have a lot of guys that are in the same spot. Again, these are just the things you're going to try to take a look at. So it really just depends on your setup, who you're starting, or what you're trying to get out of that position. Whether you start Booker or not. So just let us know who you have, and we'll keep answering those questions. So to get back to the chat here, Jonah was saying, "Do I waste all my fab on Higgins?"
No.
No, I wouldn't. Maybe 15% max. Probably I would go with because he's definitely a definite wide receiver two to me. So maybe 15 to 30% max. Is maybe where I would go. Depending, again, you're dropping OBJ for him. Your other wide receivers are still pretty decent. So it's not like somebody dropped a gem, so to speak. But it's definitely a nice
Yeah.
depth piece to have. I don't think it's something you need to unload all of your money on. And again, I like to save my money for a running back if needed.
Yeah. Yep.
Who else do we have here? Derek says, was not expecting that answer, but hearing your thoughts. So I'm not sure what you were referring to on that one.
He was talking about
We're a
the
little late.
Booker. He was
Oh,
talking
okay.
about Booker and who was it? Booker and Chuba.
Nice. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So then
Wentz
he's
over
asking,
Mills.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Wentz over
No,
Mills
you're good.
very easily. Come on. Yeah, I had to get a little suspense here for the channel, Tycoon. But glad you're here. What's up, man? And for those of you guys who are still watching, if you haven't already, make sure you get over to the Fantasy Boardroom. Throw a man, Tycoon, a subscribe over there.
Always a
I
great
know
show.
I know he would appreciate it. Always has good information there. Um, you know, very very good fantasy mind, and of course he is the best dressed man in fantasy football.
Hell yeah.
So with
And the
that
best
said,
beard.
yeah, and it's only been like 3 weeks, man. I was looking at his videos. You
I
can see the beard progression
know.
in his videos,
I'm
man.
jealous.
Totally. I wish I could grow facial hair like that. It's a real man, real man's beard he has going on there. The second best beard in fantasy, apparently. Second to none other than our own
Moss.
Dustin. So Zach Moss or Chuba. I usually start Saquon and Moss, and before that I had James White. Sorry
I'm
about
going
all that.
Moss.
But yeah, I'm gonna go Moss probably in this one. That's just a tough one. So, and Tycoon saying his beard does grow quickly. It does, my friend. That's good stuff right there.
Enjoy it.
I wish I could just get that going on the head here. I'll be all right. So Derek says one guy in my league has Chubb, CMC, and Carson and Mike Davis with a bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. CMC,
Yep.
Chubb, yeah, and they're all
Take
hurt.
advantage.
Carson's out. Everyone's there. Yeah, man. If you can try to get CMC, try to get him. If you can, get Chubb, any of those guys. If you can, I'd stay away from Carson and I'd stay away from Davis. But if you can get your hands on any of those guys, do it. J Media says, guys, I could actually drop Melvin Gordon for a defense for week 7. After all, nobody will pick him up in a 10 team, right?
Oh
I
no,
could
someone
drop
will pick
Melvin
him
Gordon
up.
for a defense. Probably we were just kind of
I'm
talking
picking him
about
up.
that up here. Somebody else had Melvin Gordon. We were saying he shouldn't be out there on the wire at this point. A lot of people are hurting for running back. So if you even put anything out there, people are swooping it up. Look at what people
I'm
are
picking him up.
using for their claim weight. Look at what they're paying for Fab for these running backs that they're going to get for only 2 or 3 weeks out of the year. There's no foregone conclusion that Gordon's losing his job. It's just kind of more assumed at this point. So Gordon, I don't mind kind of holding just to see what happens. So and if I see somebody drop Gordon in my league, I'm probably picking him up for like my wide receiver 6 anyway. So and yeah, so we're all cut up. So let's squeeze in another game. So we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Washington football team. We have the Chiefs favored by 6.5, a 54.5 point over under. Tell us about this game here, Mike. Break it down.
Honestly, there's only a few things going on right now. From what we saw, Curtis Samuel will be out for this game. Um, he, if you have him on your team, just drop him. He's not worth keeping anymore. Um, Antonio Gibson sounds fine. He's been talking. They've been talking up his injury. That he just feels fine on it, and he looks good with it. So I guess that's something that you don't have to worry about. Tyreek Hill, he didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. I think that's why people are freaked out. But he did get a limited session in on Friday, and the beat writers that were there said that he looked fine. He looked like himself. So I'm not really worried about it. So there's not much, about this game that's really like scary to me. How do you since we're unsure about how Tyreek will feel, and since we've seen games where he tends to be a little bit held back when he's injured, how do you feel about Mecole Hardman?
Um, I have him in a couple places. I thought he was going to be a lot more, but basically that, the ball goes through Kelsey and Hill there. Other guys will get their scraps here and there. I definitely think he's, kind of that fourth option if you want to include CEH in there. Not to mention with Daryl Williams getting the goal line, kind of touches there every once in a while as well. So again, I'm not that high on Hardman. Do I think he belongs on the wire? No, you can definitely hold him
No.
because he's just one of those guys you kind of plug in, especially with bye weeks coming up. If you don't have a better option, you can plug him in. He's part of a high-powered offense, 54.5 point over under. Those points have to go somewhere. There's always a chance for him to score a touchdown or come down with a 50, 60-yard catch. So it can always
Yeah, I
happen.
agree.
Yep.
Okay.
So quarterbacks in
Okay.
this game, obviously, we're starting Mahomes. Nothing to talk
Yeah,
about
you're
there.
starting.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about Heineke on the other side of the ball? Is he worth a start in a 1 QB or 2 QB league if someone's on a bye? How you feeling
You're gonna
quickly
have
about
to in
Heineke?
2 Q. Yeah, I mean, you have to in 2 QB. You can't really do it in one.
Okay, fair enough. And then
Yeah,
running backs, obviously Daryl Williams here. You're feeling comfortable starting him this week
yeah,
against the football team.
yep, not a
Okay.
problem. Yep.
What are your thoughts on Jerick McKinnon? Is he worth a start as well? Do you think it's going to be a split backfield, or do you think
No,
it's going to
I
be
think
Williams'
people are.
backfield to lose?
I think it's Williams' backfield to lose. Honestly, I mean,
He'll be
McKinnon's good and
spelled, of
all.
course, right? He'll see snaps.
Yeah,
But as far as actual,
I
productive
think
volume, do you think he takes a chunk out? Is it more of a split as
no,
far as it goes, or what?
no, because they were using him at wide receiver a lot, and now with Gordon there, they're going to try to get him more run. As much as people don't, want to see it, he's going to get some run. So I'm okay. I wouldn't take McKinnon at this point unless you're in like a 14 team. There's just
Okay.
no point in picking him up at this point.
And
Yeah,
okay. And as far as wide receivers, obviously,
yeah,
we're
you're starting.
starting
Yeah,
Tyreek Hill. We're starting Scary
yeah.
Terry. So I want to talk about these other fringe guys. What are your thoughts
Okay,
on Humphreys? Of course, with Sambo
Humphreys. I
being out
mean,
and Dewan
I
Brown
I
being
would
out,
be
right?
okay with Humphreys in a low like a if you had no better options and you were literally in like a 14 to 16. I mean, he's
Okay.
not really worth it otherwise. I
That
mean,
puts it in perspective. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's a good slot. I like him. Like I really do like Adam Humphries. It's just it's so hard to trust him to go off for that. He's a wide receiver 5 maybe, and then trying to get his upside of like wide receiver 2 is just I don't know. You're chasing points with him.
Yep. And we've seen him get as many as 8 targets in a game, and we've also seen him get 1 target in a game for
Yep.
19 yards.
Yeah.
So
Too
it,
inconsistent.
it's inconsistency. It's up and down. So again,
Yeah.
only in break in case of emergency. On the other side of the ball, um, fringe guys like Robinson, we're not
No.
starting those guys. We're not starting that. Obviously, we're
Harmon's the
starting
only
Kelsey.
fringe.
Ricky Seals
Ricky
Jones.
Seals
We
Jones.
talked about
Yeah,
him earlier.
he's worth it.
Is he worth a stream this week? I'm personally streaming him
Yeah.
myself, so it's kind of a loaded question for me.
No, no, I would because I mean honestly, if I remember correctly, the Kansas City Chiefs are one of the worst teams against the tight end, and it's because they've faced decent tight ends. So, for now, I'm okay with that. But yeah, they're 29th against the tight end, so I'm okay with that.
Nice. Just quickly, J Media says, okay, I'll drop Brandon Cooks in the flex instead.
Okay.
Not bad. Careful. Tycoon, we're getting to it, man. I see it. 2 games left. We're going to do this one, and then we're going to get into that game. But super excited, man.
Yeah.
Super excited. So we got Minnesota Vikings at Carolina Panthers. We have the Vikings favored by 2.5, so they're expecting a nice close game here. Over under 45.5
Yeah.
points. CMC's out. Looks like Cook's in. Kind of the battle
Yep.
of the number 1, number 2 running backs in fantasy. We're not going to get that matchup this week. Just looks
Nope.
like it's Cook. Tell me what else is going on here in this game. Anything else we should know about?
No, I mean Justin Jefferson and Thielen are coming back. They don't have any injury tags. They did during the week, but now they don't. Um, you can still trust. My biggest question is the Carolina side of the ball. Um, you know, they're getting somebody. Sam Darnold has been on fire from weeks 1 through 4, and then week 5 just took a dump on your lawn and just really he got 9 or 7 points in most leagues. It's sad to see. He was doing real well, and he did that against the Eagles, which just got torched by Tom Brady. So, is this a game that he could get right and do better? Yes,
No pun
shameless plug.
intended.
There we
Yes.
go.
Love it.
But yeah,
I hear it
I
all the
think he
time.
can do well. Yeah, I
Anytime
know. I
anybody
do too.
uses
I
the
hear it all the
combination of get
time.
right, I'm like,
Yeah,
that's a plug for us, baby. Let's go.
Warriors. No, I'm kidding. But at the
Shout
same
out to
time,
LegalZoom.
yeah, there you go.
Sponsor
But
us one day.
honestly, I'm okay with Sam Darnold in this game. You can definitely trust Cook coming back from injury. He practiced in full. He looks good. He says he's fine. I think bigger questions are: do you trust Robbie Anderson? I think we touched on this in the beginning.
No.
It's hard to trust him right now. You can't. I have Terrace Marshall sitting on my bench, and I don't want to drop him. I'm waiting. I am one of the rare few that is holding on to this guy until I feel like it's necessary.
Yeah, my
He
only oh god.
no, I'm just I don't know. I just have this feeling that there's going to be a time where he's going to be something viable, and it's going to be where DJ Moore just becomes the DJ Moore of old, and he's no longer there. So I just feel like it's and then Terrence Marshall is going to come in and kill it. So it's so hard to get rid of him.
Yeah. Um, I kind of feel different on this. I don't
Yeah,
know why these wide receivers aren't producing without CMC. You can only imagine once CMC comes back, that's just going to be less work. I'm
yeah,
kind of out on these Carolina receivers. You knew I was kind of down on DJ Moore, earlier at the beginning of the year.
yep,
This is kind of what I saw anyway. Again, this offense, even the wide receiver, targets are going to the back first, not the wide receiver. So it's kind of the anti Baltimore kind of situation and anti Kyler Murray
yeah,
situation just for the receivers instead of the running backs. So again, these are the kind of things that I look at, and it's just the offenses that I don't kind of want a part of. Not saying they won't produce and they don't produce. It's just something that I don't want to have to deal with, week in and week out. So again, that's just me, personally on that. As far as quarterbacks go in this game, you already talked about Darnold. On the other side of
yeah,
the ball, Kirk Cousins pretty much firing him up. Is he a QB
yeah,
one pretty much every week at this point
yeah,
until otherwise? We talked
yeah.
about the running backs here. Chuba Hubbard, he's been involved in several start sit questions so far, so we'll leave that there. We talked about the wide receivers here. Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. We're firing both of those guys up if we have them
Oh
as
yeah,
well, right?
yep,
Conklin. What do we think about the tight ends in this game? Conklin and Arnold. Are
yeah.
they are these
I
guys
would.
making stream this week?
Yeah, I can definitely. I would definitely. Well, remember Dan Arnold isn't on the Carolina Panthers anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm
Um,
sorry. It's their other guy that's over there now. That's why
Tremble. They have Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas. So I would go
he's
Conklin. I like more.
Arnold's who I wanted to talk about in the Jacksonville game. We're getting to
Yeah.
that.
No, he's a good DFS guy if you want to throw him in. If you're playing on the early morning ones, Darnold or wow, Dan Arnold is one of
Jeez.
the good ones. Yeah, I
Sheesh.
know. Too many Arnold Darnold. Um,
Oh, we didn't even I don't even think I talked about Arnold in the
no, I don't
Jacksonville
even think
game.
we talked
Yeah,
about him.
our
No.
bad on that, but we'll add that in later. We won't
Yeah,
forget next week. But yeah, so that's good there.
Conklin's
Anything else
fine.
you want to add
Yeah.
on that, or are we good to move
Yeah, I
on?
mean, I would play Conklin just because I saw that Shaq Thompson's out and he's one of their best linebackers in general. I think they're losing two linebackers, which I'm a little upset about because I have their defense. So I would I would play Conklin just as if you're desperate and need a good tight end streamer.
There it is. All
Yeah.
right, so moving on here, we're gonna go LA Chargers at Baltimore Ravens. We're just past that 3 hour mark, so we're gonna try to wrap this up here, and get through it. I've seen both of us yawn in here, so it's hard to keep the energy
Whole
going here
time.
for
It's
more
four
than three
o'clock.
hours. But even
Yeah.
myself, we feel the energy drain in here a little bit, and we don't want to do you guys this disservice. We want to bring you some nice high energy, content here, but we'll have to get it out. So anyway, Chargers versus Ravens time market right now, timestamp. I don't even know what it's called anymore. We're getting crazy. 2.5 point favorite by the Ravens. A 51 point over under. Probably the game of the week. Not too many great matchups this week. But this
Yeah.
should be a doozy. Real quickly, what do we need to know injury wise about this game?
I mean, we heard about Lamar Jackson being, out Wednesday and Thursday with an illness. He's back. He practiced in full today. He'll be good to go. The big news, like we were just talking about before, Rashad Bateman looks like
Boom.
he's
Fantasy
yeah he's
Boardroom
coming
says,
back
I'm
this
sure
week.
you covered it, but we didn't. We're talking about it now. Bateman
Yeah,
is here. He has
yeah, he's coming in
arrived.
this week. Now, Sammy Watkins is out, so he'll be taking that role, right away. So he's not missing out on everything. Right now that's where he is. He's going to come in and hopefully do well. We'll see how his debut goes, but right now you can't start him. You have to sit him. We there's not much you can do with this. On the Charger side, Mike Williams, he's questionable right now. He didn't practice all week, but he's still labeled as questionable. So he's coming in injured. So we'll see how that goes and see if he even plays. Since this is the 1 o'clock game, that's helpful. It's rare to have that, but you'll be able to, know if he's active or inactive on Sunday. So make sure you guys check us out on Sunday to know if he is or not. But that's going to be a tough call from there. But otherwise, I mean, you know, I like I said, I don't really trust Bateman coming back. Do you know? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, obviously, I don't want to start him if I don't have to, but I'm very, just as a football fan, very interested to see how he's worked in. We always thought that Bateman was going to be the reason why this Ravens passing game opened up this year. At least that's what I thought. I should say I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I thought that was going to be a big reason why I thought Bateman was actually going to open up Hollywood Brown. But we've seen Lamar in Hollywood and Mark
Yeah,
Andrews kind of have that passing game going. So I'm even more excited to see now that they add Bateman in there, a true, other receiver in there. I'm just very excited to see what the potential of this offense could be, especially with no running game back there as well. I'd like to see the different ways they try to get him in. But of course, before I start firing him up as a start, I want to see it, for a week or two, before I
yeah,
feel
me too.
comfortable throwing him into a lineup. But if you held on to him in your IR spot, this is an opportunity. He's a potential league winner, just because you could have gotten a potential wide receiver run here um, very late in the draft. So
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
excited to see when you scratch these auto tickets, man. See if you just want to. Did you get a ticket? Did you win the $10,000 grand prize? What'd you win? So we're gonna scratch this ticket here over these next couple weeks and see what we get. Um, so, we talked about quarterbacks. Obviously, we're firing both of these guys up.
Yeah, you have to.
The running game on the
These are the
Baltimore's.
top scoring QBs last week, man. They had
Yeah,
career fantasy days.
absolutely. So that's no question. Won't spend time on that.
No.
Obviously, we're firing up Austin Eckler. No other running backs are worthy on that side of the ball. Right
No.
now, looks like Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman's getting a little run in the 2-minute drill and some passing downs here and there, but pretty much looks like
Yeah.
it's Murray's backfield to have. Interestingly enough, Tyson Williams was actually active for this
Yeah.
last game. They gave him a couple carries. I think he ended up having like one catch for -1 yard and
Yeah, he didn't
like
do anything.
and nothing on the ground, like 4 carries for like 6 yards or something like that,
Just
if
shame.
memory serves me right. So I went ahead and dropped him this week. Again, we talked about the receivers there. You talked about Mike Williams. We're definitely starting Keenan Allen. As
Yeah.
far as tight ends, we're definitely firing up Mark Andrews. He was part of the greatest comeback comebacks for a lot of people last week.
Yeah.
Made a lot of people's dreams happen and ruined other people who thought they had an easy win in the bag. And then on the Chargers side, Jared Cook, you're probably definitely streaming him as well too if you have him. So that's that.
Yeah.
Um, get into these 4 o'clock games. There's only 3 of them. The first game we have here is going to be the Arizona Cardinals at Cleveland Browns. We have the Browns favored by 3 with a 49-point over under. Um, tell me about this game. Should be
This
a
is
good one.
this is a crazy game because of the injuries and all the things going on. I mean, we heard that Nick Chubb is out. So, Kareem Hunt is coming in questionable with a wrist and knee injury. I know this is kind of unsure, but this is my boy Christian, by the way. How you doing, bro? And he's a cop out near me in one of the counties that I work in. So he's working late and listening to us. So glad to
Nice.
hear you. Glad
Appreciate your service, man. Appreciate it.
hell yeah, brother. I miss him. I hope he's doing well. Um, but yeah, we know that unfortunately Jarek Willis, Jack Treader, and or no, not Jack Treader. I forgot his first name, but Treader, their center, and their right tackle Conklin all didn't practice all week, but they're all listed as questionable this week. So they could technically be down 3 of their 5 starting linemen, and that's kind of tough. The biggest question that we've been asked, and we got asked this before, was, you know, Dearness Johnson or Demetric Felton. Felton is, considered a wide receiver, and a running back in most leagues. So he's he's kind of like Cordell or Patterson, but a little bit, smaller. Um, but on the Cardinals side of the ball, apparently, the big news before we came on a little bit, well, earlier before we came on, Cliff Kingsbury is going to be out for this game. So
Crazy.
it's a huge thing. Oh, and Dustin, just be careful, bro. Kristen's a big Giants fan, so
Ooh.
yeah, good luck there.
Fo
So
followed by a diss.
basically,
Go ahead. It's
They have
coming.
3 staffers. They have 3 they have 3 staffers out and, with that tested positive. So that's a big deal too. So they're losing a lot of their coaching staff in this particular game. So that 3 points is a little bit closer than we think. Um on the Arizona side of the ball, there wasn't really much going on. Everyone looks to be there. Nothing really crazy at this point. So, you know, uh, which one of the 2 running backs would you take behind Hunt, Ernest or Dimitri?
Um, hard to tell there. I definitely saw kind of both people coming off the board, so
Yeah,
a
me
lot of
too.
people aren't kind of sure which way to go. Um, I personally had Dearness Johnson for a while on my bench just because you know how I kind of just grab a handcuff if I have an open roster spot, just maybe predicting an injury here or there. Try to get ahead of the waiver wire, ahead of the fab. But then I ended up having to drop him. But obviously Felton, I think in the Yahoo has the dual eligibility, kind of like
Yeah, he
Cordell with the
does.
wide receiver and running back.
I
So
think
that's
it's in
always
everyone.
nice. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's always nice. But really, it's a crapshoot. If they're smart, they would just give Hunt all the carries. One of these guys is going to spell him, here and there when he needs it. But I pretty much think it's the Kareem Hunt show. Just remember, Hunt's only over there because of his whole kind of scandal.
I
KC let him
agree.
go. This dude is a running back one, pretty much on any other team that would be willing to kind of deal with him. But again, funny how when you start producing, people kind of forget, but we don't
Yeah.
forget here. We don't forget here. I get right. We know what you did wrong. You can't go run off to Cleveland in a small market and just kind of hide out over there. Um, we see you over there, Kareem. They got cameras over there in Cleveland too. You better watch out. You better watch
Yeah,
out, my
make
guy.
sure you know what? They should try him out for kicking
At
field
least
goals.
I know, man. Too bad there wasn't a pandemic then. They could have had masks on. They wouldn't have been able to tell who
Oh
anyone was.
god.
Anyway, moving on. So yeah, so that pretty much covers it. Pretty simple game there. We know who we're starting. We know who we're sitting.
Yeah.
In those positions, things are pretty
Yeah, you're
straightforward.
starting everybody in this game.
Yeah,
For
for the most.
me, you're
I mean,
starting everybody.
not me. I mean, I'm sitting Baker. I don't think he'll have that good of a game.
Eh.
I'm sitting OBJ. I don't really like him right now at this point.
Oh,
I
okay,
mean,
if you're gonna go there,
I'm sitting
yeah.
all the Cardinals, or I'm starting all most of the Cardinals.
Okay,
I'm sitting Cleveland.
fair.
A lot of the Cleveland side of the ball. I'm sitting. So
Okay.
for just time's sake, I won't go any more deeper into that.
No, you're
So
good.
we'll get into the next game here. We're almost done, man. You thought we'd go under 3
You wanna
hours.
get some questions
We
or
we keep we keep getting into this. Let me just kind of get caught up here.
there's a few.
Where we're at. Let me find out. So first one here from J Media. Do you guys feel good about Brandon Cooks rest of the season? Houston Texans with Davis Mills. My quick answer to that is no, but it's been the same
Mid wide
pre-draft.
receiver 2. Mm. He's a
So
wide
yeah,
receiver. Yeah, he's a mid wide receiver 2 for me.
I'm not feeling comfortable with him any week. But
Well,
that's
Tyrod
just
might
me.
come back. Or Tyrod's on the way back.
Yeah, so that's just me. Derek says, "Can y'all help me bust out a trade for Chubb or CMC? I'm willing to part ways with Moss, Corey Davis, and Saquon, also AB and Debo."
Yeah,
Um,
you're gonna have to give up Saquon and AB for something like that.
Yeah, I would try something like that, or maybe even Debo. I try to hold on to AB if you can, but if you can move Saquon and
Yeah.
Debo to get CMC or Chubb, I'd
You
be
need
willing to
Debo
do
to have
that.
a week.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, obviously Saquon and Corey Davis if you can get away with it,
Yeah.
but I think it'll take Saquon and Debo, and you can pretty much get one or both of those guys.
Yeah.
Maybe you have to throw in Moss. I think that'd be a little too much for either one of those guys. Definitely too much for Chubb. Borderline too much for CMC. But honestly, if you can get CMC to me, um, there's no price high enough you could pay. But that's just me. And then we already got to that.
Yep.
Dustin said, or early morning, or however you live, because that's
Yeah,
how we
he's
do over
early
here.
morning. He's 4 a.m.
Tycoon was saying I wouldn't start him either, but just can't wait to see how he looks out there for real. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic, and I'm right there with you talking about Rashad Bateman.
Mhm.
Dustin was saying my metaphors are bar none. I can only imagine right now at a little over 1 a.m. What I even said when you made that comment. Should I accept CD Lamb for Hollywood Brown? I'm receiving CD. Um,
Yeah, I'd rather have CD.
yeah, I'll take CD in that one. It's close, but I'd take CD in that one just because. Let me get a hamburger. It's for a cop. Shout out to a Super Troopers reference there. Love that movie. Shout out to Lax Pro. holding it down for us over there.
Yeah,
Um,
Christian.
I would definitely take CD over Hollywood, and he
Yeah.
has Marquise. So that's coming from somebody that actually has him. So that's that. So yes, sir, doing well. Seems like you're doing good. Love listening. So we
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
that. I take it because you're on here and you found us, you're already subscribing. If there is
Yeah,
anyone
no,
else on
yeah.
here that's watching that's not subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button for us. Dustin said you got nervous when you saw your boy on here. That happens sometimes, man. You get a little stage fright when you
Yeah.
see a new
I
person
wouldn't
that you
say
know in real
stage fright.
life.
I'm excited. I'm
Yeah, you
excited to
just
see him, man. I don't
you
talk
kind
to
of
Chris. No, I don't see him often, and it's nice to talk to him when I get to, and I reach out to him every so often about Giant stuff. So it's just good to always see him when he's on here.
that's hilarious, man. And he's agreeing with us. He said 100% take CD for Brown. So we're on agreement there. Hit that accept button if it's an offer to you. Dustin was saying JK about all that. Thank you for your service as always. And of course, that's when he told him that he was a huge Giants fan, and he said,
Yep.
"Damn it." So that was actually a
Does
lot
that
better,
look like spit to you?
a lot better than I thought. Yeah. Does that look like spit to you? So you gotta love it when there's a cop that can laugh at something like that, man. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, man. And my dad was a sergeant too out here in California, so
Nice.
appreciate that, man. Um, always appreciate what our boys in blue do. And we're not
Yeah,
talking
for
about the
sure.
Giants. We're talking about that thin blue line. All right, man. So how does that oh yeah, so we got that.
Yep.
Kind of scandalous, yeah. He said book him. We got a lot going on. Love the chat. It's bringing us any guy you're playing him this week. Glad to book him for you. There he is. OBJ is greater than
And
Tooney.
we both know how much Dustin
Yikes.
loves OBJ.
Yeah, no one likes OBJ except OBJ. He's the Kanye of football.
Yeah.
Boardroom says I love OBJ. Man, the chat is still going strong at 1 a.m.,
Yeah,
4
brother.
a.m. 4 this
Yeah.
is we're past 4. It's
4:20.
4:20 a.m. on the East Coast, and we still got chats coming in like crazy, man.
Yeah, man.
He's saying he needs to drop one, Waddle, Tyson Williams, or Marlon Mack.
Marlon
But
Mack.
I'd say Marlon Mack at this point. He has AJ Brown, McLaurin, Tooney, Shep, and Mike Thomas. His RBs are Saquon and
Mitchell
Mitchell,
Madison.
Madison, Collins. Yeah, so you're
Collins.
good there. You could
Yeah.
drop
Get rid of Marlon.
Mac or Taysom, but I draw Mac. Yeah, so
Yeah.
insert an OBJ gif here. Do you think Penny comes back and takes the RB2 spot? Not at all.
Yeah. No, he'll come back next week.
Is he
They
really?
said he's coming
Yeah,
back
he'll
next
be.
week. Yeah.
Dude's been hurt for like 2 years
I
straight.
don't
He'll be
disagree,
good.
but he
He
could take
came
it.
back, got like 3
Yeah.
carries and got hurt. He's like worse than Raheem Mostert with both of
Yeah.
them right in there. So it's for a cop. What does that mean? You're gonna spit in it? There we go. Some more Super Troopers slander there. I love it, man.
Give me a liter of
Um,
cola.
exactly. That's one of my favorite ones. Oh, look, it's a bar. Oh, look, it's a bar of soap. It's a great movie, man. It's Tony, not Tooney, right?
Got you
What
good,
the fuck?
fucker.
Good. Yeah, exactly. That's one for Mike. I need help before next show.
Yeah.
I think it's Tooney.
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah.
Is it Tony or Tooney? I
Yeah.
thought it's
Well,
Tooney. We'll figure it out.
we'll see. We'll
We'll
see how
find
many
out here
times
this
they talk
weekend.
about
Yeah, exactly. Did you guys say 420? Shh, there's a cop in here. Oh shit, J Media.
it.
We did say that. That was just a corresponding time situation here. So yes, and we have Tycoon confirming, as we know, it's not Gaskins, it's Gaskin, and so now it's Tony, not Tooney. So we'll have to get that correct for our grammar guy in here, our grammar tycoon. So here we go. AKA, what is it? Do I just say Joker if I have to talk to him about it? Yeah, there you go. So you can just always go with the nickname and we can get it there. So give me a liter of cola. F-bomb alert. Hey, stop
Rare, but it happens.
stop jumping on the bed, kids. That's hilarious. The liter of cola, no. Tony like an Italian guy. See, like me.
Okay,
And then
Tony.
Dustin
Okay.
wants you to say hot dog one more time for us.
Hot dog.
Hot dog.
Hot diggity dog.
There it is, man. So gotta love it.
You guys
All right,
know
man.
that.
So let's get through the rest of these games, man. Then we'll call it a
Okay.
night. We appreciate everybody here. Let's see. Las Vegas Raiders at Denver Broncos. Rivalry game here. Broncos are actually favored by 4, which is fantastic. 44.5 point over under. Obviously, a lot of craziness going on with Gruden and all that kind of stuff. Leaving all that out of the whole situation, strictly
It's hard.
football. Who do you have as a starting to sit here in this game?
I mean, you got to start the offensive side of the ball for the Denver Broncos. You're starting Williams, you're starting Teddy, you're starting Sutton, you're starting Patrick, you're starting Fant. Those you have to. You're starting Waller on the other side. You got to start. You got to start Carr and two QB, and you're definitely going to be starting Waller. It's really just the wide receiver options for the Raiders and the running back. I mean, Josh Jacobs didn't practice Wednesday and Thursday due to illness, but he returned Friday, so he should be okay. Melvin Gordon, I'm not sold on it yet. I mean, it's still a split backfield, but Williams tends to get more run and looking better. Wide receivers for the Raiders, I'd probably only play Renfro in PPR. If it wasn't PPR, maybe Edwards, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. But what about you?
Yeah. I think we talked a lot about the Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon backfield there. I think if you're in a pinch and you need to start one of those guys as an RB2 or a flex, you can. There's favorable opportunity there. Hopefully, maybe Denver can get out, or at least it'll be even enough to where it'll be a good game script for them to be running still. Um, Obviously, having Teddy Bridgewater back helps that. He looked good last week. So he should still continue this week. I do like Sutton. We have to look for
Yeah, me too.
Jerry Jeudy coming back. If you can possibly trade off Sutton soon, you might want to think about it with Jeudy coming back. I don't think he'll have as much ceiling as he's had with Jeudy out. But again, we don't know if Judy's going to come
Could
back,
argue more.
even at 100%. Yeah, and it could open him up even more and make them more difficult to guard. So again, just something to kind of think about. And again, just for trying to save a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I'm not starting anybody on the Raiders for the most part, except for Carr and Waller, like you said. And yeah, the Denver side is interesting, including the Denver defense as well. And I'm starting
Yeah.
Panis just because they're in Denver and hopefully he can make a field goal. So
Yeah.
is what it is. All right. So anything else you want to add on that, or we good to move on?
No, sounds good.
All right. Dallas Cowboys at New England Patriots. Cowboys are favored by 3.5. We have a 50.5 point over under. Who we start and who we sit in this game? Is there any injuries we need to know about? Break it down, Mike.
Biggest injury is probably Damian Harris. He was limited Thursday and Friday, but he's questionable. So is Elliott. He's limited with a rib injury as well. But he should, both should be good to go. Apparently, another big news is Trayvon Diggs. It looks like he's good to go as per Jerry Jones. I don't know how much I trust it, but Jerry knows, his guys better than most people. So if he is playing, that kind of puts a damper on Jacoby Myers, in my opinion. I do like Jacoby Myers, but maybe not for this game. He is a PPR, monster, but I think they might have, try to attack the other, aspects of of the New England defense. Not New England. Sorry, Cowboys. Yeah, it's getting late. So at this point, it's tough. I mean, you have to ask the question: do you play Myers or Cortland Sutton? We're going to say Sutton. Emmanuel Sanders or Myers. You're going to say Sanders. I'm trying to think like Hunter Renfro or Jacoby Myers. What would you do?
That's a tough choice if you have to make that choice, but I would probably go. I'd probably go Myers.
Yeah. Okay.
In that case, I'm not completely sold on Hunter Renfro, and as just a Niners fan, it's pretty much what it really is. I'm not gonna put my fantasy,
Yeah, it makes sense.
cloud,
I understand
whatever.
it.
It's late, so I don't know what word I'm looking for, but I'm not putting my
You're
the
not putting all
decision
your
of
eggs in
winning
one
or losing.
basket for that.
Not even in one basket. I'm just not gonna have a Raider contribute to the winning or losing of my team because it's going to make me hate them even more if he doesn't produce. So I'd
Yeah,
rather
fair
put
enough.
somebody else in there. And sometimes that's how you make decisions in fantasy. Like literally, sometimes those are the decisions you make. And that's one I'm making.
Okay.
I'm anti-rating
Yeah.
to
How
the
do you
bone.
feel about yeah, I know, jeez.
Just
How
can't
much do
do
you
it.
like Pollard? Yeah, I know. I know you can't.
I think the Pollard kind of music has kind of died down a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
think people are calling for him to be starting over Zeke anymore. That was a little outrageous, but just kind of shows you how the pendulum just swings so far and how people can overreact just after one game. Um, but I think he's definitely, like we talked about earlier, a nice handcuff to have. If you need to throw him in there to have, some standalone value as a flex, type person, or if you have a running back that's down and he's your only option, then I think you can do it. Because again, he's still getting double digit carries. The 4 of the last 5 games, he's still getting double digit carries. So again, he's worth it. 4 catches last game on 4 targets. It's again, he has some standalone value. If you need to plug him in there, you can.
Sounds good.
Um, and we're firing up the wide receivers. CD Cooper kind of got to play
Oh
them
yeah.
for the most part, and um, nobody else really to talk about on here either.
Hunter, yeah, Hunter, you're
Your tight
playing
end,
Dalton Schultz. Yeah. Play both.
absolutely. Yeah. So that's that. Any more questions about this, guys? Just let us know,
No.
and we'll help you out. So getting to the Sunday night game now. Gonna be kind of probably one of our probably worst kind of primetime games here with the Russell Wilson-less Seattle Seahawks at the Pittsburgh Steelers. We have the Steelers favored by 5, a 43 point over under, so they're expecting low scoring.
Mhm.
Obviously, a lot of injuries and things going on here. I'll let you break it down.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one that we saw was DK Metcalf. He was downgraded to did not practice on Thursday. It looks like he was taken off the practice report on Friday, so he should be fine. I don't know why I have Claypool in here. Um, but beyond that, it looks like, Chris Carson and Russell Wilson were put on IR. Carroll said that Penny should return next week. So that's why I was mentioning, Rashad Penny before. Other than that, everyone else looks like they're good to go in both Seattle and Pittsburgh. You're going to be starting, you're going to have to be in a situation in a Q2, a 2 QB league where you might have to play Geno Smith. I'm okay with playing him. I think people are going a little bit hard on, DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and thinking that it's that much of a downgrade with Geno. I think you need to kind of see what happens and you're still going to play the guy. I'm not playing DK. He's still a talented, receiver. So is Tyler Lockett. I understand it's Geno getting him the ball, but Geno looked pretty decent, last week. So I'm not scared about that. I'm more scared of Ben than I am with Geno. Ben just doesn't look good.
Yeah. I'm gonna disagree with half of what you said there. I'm definitely firing up DK Metcalf. I actually think his ceiling actually possibly increases. I think Gino might lock on to Metcalf a little more,
Yeah,
whereas Tyler,
yeah,
Tyler Lockett benefited from the downfield passing that Russell Wilson provided. I don't think really anyone in the NFL can throw a nicer deep ball than Russell Wilson as far as just putting it in Tyler Lockett's hand right over the
okay,
shoulder. We've seen those types of plays. I don't think the coaching staff is going to take those type of shots with Gino. Whereas
no,
I think we'll see a lot of slants and comebacks and things like that to Metcalf. I think he has, good 10 catch potential in this game.
okay,
We do have to worry about the foot and the injury. That's what I would kind of worry about there. But I actually would kind
okay,
of downgrade Lockett a little bit, and I actually kind of DK stock rises a little bit with me with the
okay.
Gino switch out there.
Yeah, I agree
Um,
with that.
so that's that. Other than
Yep.
that, obviously Claypool is probably the only other person really worth mentioning here. Um,
Yeah.
as far as fire him up, definitely starting him with Juju being gone. Really like Claypool this week as well. Him and Deontay, love Deontay even more with Juju being gone as well. So really like those guys. No tight end, really worthy. And I think Najee, going back to a question hours ago,
Oh yeah.
that's
No, you're
why
playing Najee.
those targets are going to be soaked up by Najee as well. So
Yeah.
continue to see Najee's stock rise. So that's Seahawks versus Pittsburgh. So we'll get into the last game here. Buffalo Bills at Tennessee Titans. We have Buffalo favored by 5.5, a 54-point over under. So this should be a nice game. We might actually see Julio and AJ Brown together again.
Yeah, they're both practicing.
Kind of take two. Maybe Tannehill can get his shit together finally and realize how to use these weapons that he has at his disposal. You have literally a guy you can hand it off to, who can take it to the house or run through a
100
wall.
times.
And you can give it to him 35 times. You can get him going, get some play action going, get those deep shots to, AJ Brown, and get some of those, deep crossing routes with Julio over the middle. That's where he seems to excel. If they can get those linebackers to suck up and have Julio run right in behind, or catch AJ Brown on a streak or a post, man, it seems so simple on paper. Tell us about it. What do you feel
No,
about
I
this game?
mean, I think this is going to be one of the better games now that they have Julio and AJ back. I mean, Julio and AJ have just been fighting injury all year. I mean, their injury history is one that I didn't want to grab any one of these guys. They both had full practices this week. They're both healthy. They look like they're ready to go. So I'm not really worried. Emmanuel Sanders had a rest day on Thursday. He's fine. So it looks like both teams are quote unquote healthy, ready to go. Just a disclaimer for everybody to know, like right now, you're going to see a lot of times, and this is a little different because it's Monday night, but you're going to see 9 times out of 10, Derrick Henry is going to be on the injury report, and he will be on the injury report for 2 days in a row. There's a reason. He runs the ball every time. He gets 30, 40 touches a game. That's veteran rest day. He's earned that. It's one of those things you're always going to see. It's been happening for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Just let it go. Just be okay with seeing him on the injury report. This game is going to be, they're already predicting 54 points. I'm okay with, playing anybody, on these particular teams. Love Dawson Knox. You're not going to play any of the tight ends on the Titans. But you're going to play, AJ Brown, Julio. You're going to play Henry, and you're going to play Tannehill, and you're going to not like it. In some leagues, you have no other choice, and it's going to be tough. I mean, my brother, I had during our drafts, my biggest question was Matthew Stafford or Ryan Tannehill, and I went with Stafford over Tannehill. My brother picked Tannehill, and he's hating himself. So, but his team's way better, but it's only because he has Henry. So, it's at the point where you have to kind of understand that this goes through Derrick Henry. And, with the Buffalo Bills side, I mean, you're playing Zach Moss. You're probably not going to play Singletary. You're playing Dawson Knox. You're playing Stephon Diggs and Sanders with Beasley if if you need him. You're not playing Jabril Davis anymore, unfortunately. I think he's great. But for now, that's
Gabe
all you're
Davis.
really playing for this particular, or Gabe Davis. Sorry. I thought it was
good.
Jabril Davis.
It's Gabriel, but it's all good.
Oh, Gabriel Davis. There we go. Anyway, you're going to be
It's
playing
late, dude.
all,
It's like almost
most of
5
these
o'clock
guys.
for you over there
Oh,
now.
yeah. We've never gone this late.
I know. I told you, and you were like, "Oh, we're gonna be
Yeah,
under."
we've
I was
done
like,
a
"There's no
3:30
way, dude."
show.
Yeah,
Well,
there's no way.
it's because we started late. That's why.
Yeah, that too. My
It's
bad
all
on
good.
that.
No,
But yeah,
it's all
man.
good.
So that's it. So I don't really disagree with you on too much there. Nothing
No.
really too much to add. I think you hit it on the head. One of the
Yeah.
more entertaining games that we should have Monday night. Can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Again, I think they got back. The only thing I just kind of want to double down on is hopefully they understood with Julio and AJ Brown being out, how important that run game is, and to establish that,
Yeah.
I think if they do that and don't worry about their shiny toys they have, hit that run game and then start working that play action, and that's how they can become deadly. So let's clean
Yeah.
up the rest of this chat room, and then we'll call it a
Yeah, there's
night.
not much.
We'll
Yeah.
see what gets done first. So just backing up here. Sorry if we're late to your questions, but we're going to get to them now. We just wanted to at least get through the rest of the show, so we can log off here eventually. We have Haz here saying, "Do you think Bateman? How do you think Bateman will do? and we're just going to fly through these. No real explanation needed. Let's just give the answers. Is he worth a stash? Bateman, Mooney, or Hardman? Pick one. So I'd say Bateman. That's what I answered in the chat. So hopefully he saw that there.
Well,
so
I like Hardman, actually. Hardman.
All right. So Hardman, I say Bateman. Derek says, if you're talking about stashes, I've had the Flash Gordon stash for 2 weeks. So that's nice. Derek, that's
Good
it.
Luck.
That's the tweet. Neanderthal says, and again, some of these may be behind based on what we were talking about. Drake out of the doghouse, possible stock rise. We're stupid not to utilize his talent. I have no idea why you guys went out, signed Peyton Barber, and gave him 20 touches 2 games in a row when he had Drake right there. Doesn't make any sense to me. His role did not change at all. What I predicted was going to happen. I predicted, Jacobs was going to get hurt. I just thought that Drake was going to come in, take the role, and basically not look back. But that ended up not happening. So even more so, staying away from that whole team. And Jerry, I know you're a big Raiders fan, and I'm half joking, but it's a terrible situation they got going on there with that line and everything like that. And I know it's hard to see, it's hard to say because I know you're a big Raiders fan, man. And I hate trying to be objective when it comes to that stuff, but it's just not a situation I'm trying to be around right now, having anyone on that team. So he said he probably have Deshaun Watson too. Not sure he's what referring to. Oh, about the super stash. He said no, I dropped Russell today and picked up to try to trade for Waddle. So he said tried. So Tycoon was holding down for us, answering the questions while we're doing our breakdowns. He said yes, Bateman absolutely should be a stash, and I'd grab him over Mooney or Hardman. So I'm right there with you, Tycoon. Good deal.
Later has.
Oh, okay, so that's what he's saying. Good night. I think
he's just saying later.
What he was trying to say. All right, there we go. We haven't beat the Patriots in 25 years. Really? That's crazy. If that is an actual stat, probably seems that long. He said not until 1996, so that's crazy. Pack was alive. I'm just kidding, Derek, but Waddle deserved to be on waiver. I disagree with you there, Dustin. Anybody that can get 12 targets in a game with his starting quarterback coming back at least deserves to be on a bench. And you can IR Russ. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
not
for
playing
sure.
with the IR. So Jodeci's back. What's up? Welcome back. We're still here.
What's up, brother?
He said, I stayed up just to see both Jamal and Gordon get snatched up, so I grabbed Collins instead. Love it when people are sitting there waiting for their waivers to process and then make your moves right after picking up whatever people drop off. I love it, getting those crumbs.
Nice.
So he ended up getting Collins instead. So that's not bad, especially if he didn't have to spend any fab or anything on it. So not bad. I have Lamar Jackson, who has a week 8 bye, and Russ at the earliest wouldn't come back until week 9. So that's why he made that.
I think it's week 10, but yeah.
Okay. And then Dustin said it makes sense. There'd have to be waiver sleepers. They probably have it like Derek sleep at halftime. Slow up and Chiefs kiss to his late stream. We're gonna win week 6, fellas.
That's what we're here for.
Awesome, man. Love to be here. Sober Money. What's up, man? Welcome to Get Right.
Money.
If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button for us. We're really rolling up our sleeves here, grinding on our Friday for you. Says T. Higgins, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, as we know, is Bobby Trees, Claypool start 3. You already know my 3: Higgins, Woods, and Claypool.
Likewise.
And he says, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm still the same: Higgins, Woods, and Claypool.
Likewise.
One last thing. Never has to be one last thing, man. Oh, but I do like the last thing. Let's go Niners. We're building up the Niner gang up here in the Get Right community. I love it. We got Tycoon, myself, and now Haas. I think Ryan is another.
I think we need to change these.
Another Niner fan. I'm loving it, dude. What's up? Bang, bang, Niner gang. Dustin's hating it, of course. You guys from the Bay. Haas, I'm originally from the Bay. I was born in San Francisco, actually. Was in Northern California. Mike's actually in New Jersey, right?
Long Island. No, Long Island, New York.
Long Island, New York. My bad. That's actually probably I shouldn't have said that, hon. That's like
Jersey's even worse.
Is it okay? See,
Yeah.
I knew there was a thing going on between you guys. I shouldn't have called you New Jerseyan. I think that's like
Oh,
blasphemy over
hell
there.
no.
Yeah, that's like a
Oh, hell
derogatory
yeah.
comment, huh?
You
That's
saw
like
where
a
I live, man.
I know, I was like, I just clowned you for that, huh? I can't call you a New Jersey guy after that.
Nah, man. I
But
was
yeah,
down
man,
Dune Road today in the Hamptons.
there it is. See, that's what's up, man. The Hamptons, I love it. And he did send me the pictures, man. It was nice. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, and that's what Dustin's saying is 2 out of the 4 are close to the bay, and that would be Dustin and Frank. They're still up there in Northern California, but I'm down here in Palm Springs, and like I said, my boy Mike over here is in Long Island, New York. So,
Yes, sir.
um, yeah, Ant used to be Tycoon here saying Niners. That's what's up. Jay
Oh,
Media's
so
Niners
many
too.
Niners.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. We all
Dude,
around.
we gotta change these hashtags.
I love it, dude. I love it. We got Dustin saying
Forget
classic.
about it.
Forget about it. There it is. He said, not the Long Island, the Middle Island.
Yeah, I'm from Middle Island. Yeah, I
He's
live
from
in Middle
Middle Island.
Island, but Long Island is yeah.
All the islands. He's there. We got it all covered. So Haas is saying, nice, man. This is awesome, man. Neanderthal saying Raiders has to hold it down for his Raiders, man.
Ooh, we got a Vikings
Obviously
fan.
moving out. So and Sober Money says bolt up.
What up?
Hey, what up?
Loving the
So we got a
stadium,
bolt
brother.
up in there. Chargers fan in the house. We got Jodeci saying, have a good night, y'all. Skull. And as we
Go
know, that is
Vikings
for
fan.
the Vikings cry. So there it is. Dustin said, nailed it. We know he hates all the Vikings fans, unfortunately. So, Jodeci, you're going to have it out with him one day. Other than that, I think we finally got caught up, man. 3 hours, 41 minutes. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We do this for you every week on Fridays. We're going to go through every game, let you know who to start, who to sit. More importantly, we're going to take your questions, get you your answers that you need to talk it out. It's a therapy session. If you guys want our quick responses, you can always go to getrightff.com. You'll see our articles, our rankings, more importantly. So if you can't get a hold of us, if you want to know who we would start or who we would sit, go to getrightff.com. There's a tab there that says rankings, and you can check it right there. So other than that, we got everybody here doing like a little roll call. We got Derek in here from Austin, Texas. What's up, man? Staying up late with us. Dustin definitely saying he hates Skull. And he said, yeah, that's some nasty chew. Neanderthals in here saying good night. Fantasy football dreams and Z's and saying thanks, man. So we really appreciate it, you guys, holding it down here, man. We love the interaction. Keep it coming. We're here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays between 9:30 and 10 p.m. Pacific. We just do this on the side. This isn't our full-time thing, but we do put in the work, the research, the time, the effort to try to build this community the best we can. So again, go in the description. Make sure you join it. I don't know if you can find that link again, Mike, if you want to post it up there in the chat again. For
Yeah,
anybody that
gotcha.
wants to come and join the sleeper question, like I said, send us pictures. You can hit us up on Twitter at Get Right Fantasy. As you can see right there down at the bottom, there's the sleeper channel link that you can get into and add into our channel there. Send us screenshots of your teams if you want to talk about who to trade. We're there all day, every day, helping you guys out. And for right now, it's free, so take advantage of it. Probably won't be free forever. But for right now, for those of us who are helping us get to where we want to be, we're definitely giving you our time. And other than that, that's all I can say. So appreciate you for your time, Mike. Is there anything
As
you want to
always.
end on here?
No, just good luck in week 6 and all your matchups. And then next week we have the good old Bipocalypse where every person in the world that you want to play is going to be out. So good
Week
luck on your
7.
weeks this week. Get that win now while you can, and hopefully you are able to be ready for next week. So we'll
Yep.
get you guys ready. Come back, watch us on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. We'll be back here Sunday morning, me and Ant, breaking it down, doing what we can, and we'll get you guys your actives and inactives Sunday morning. So we'll be here 11 to 12:30.
Or
Eastern.
8 to, I was gonna say, or 8 to 9:30 for those of us on the real coast.
Yeah.
Just messing with all you guys out there, man. No, we love it, and as you can see, we have trouble saying bye, man. I hate getting off, but we
Yeah,
have
me
to
too.
now.
Yeah,
We'll
I'm
see you
getting
guys
tired.
here on Sunday, man. The adrenaline's wearing down, but we'll see you Sunday morning. And good luck to everybody out there, man. For Mike, for Dustin, for Frank, myself, Get Right Fantasy Network. We're out.
Later.